I thought about it a little longer, some milestones in my life. How long have I known my wife? And how long have I been working at the Sports Hub? Since 2014. That would actually make this my 13th year, I think, right? 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 13 years in Boston radio for me. And look what I got to show for it. I got a night with you out there on the radio, 617-779-0985 if you want to join. Tonight we will have special guest at 7:20, Lauren Campbell of Mass Live Sports. We have chopped it up before. We will do it again in 2026, and it'll be a pleasure to welcome Lauren to the fold this evening. Of course, Joe and I will have plenty to go on about, and of course, with you. Don't forget, we're on YouTube as well. Tell the youths, although they're probably tuning in on TikTok. That's what Joe and I were just yapping about TikTok. Apparently, I got to get on there. I mean, weren't there some security concerns or something that I needed to be? Wasn't like TikTok supposed to be illegal, and then Donald Trump saved it, and now I don't know what to think about it. It's like they, there's the illicit substance, but now everybody's doing it, so I guess it's okay. I can take the illicit substance. It's fine.
Yeah, I think allegedly info was getting stolen off of TikTok, but I think you would be great on TikTok. We got fellow Joe Murray is on TikTok.
Yeah.
And he's going viral. I think the same could happen with you, Sean.
Well, we'll get the foxhole on TikTok. I mean, let's be straight here. And, one of my very best friends is a professor of internet security and various things, advises me often on how to take care of myself online. I mean, we have trainings. We have required trainings here. Joe, you're, on the street team, do you have to take the internet trainings then, or is it only when you're a full-blooded employee here that you have to take the security trainings here for Beasley Media?
We didn't have to take a training per se, but you have to sit down and there's probably like a 30 to 60 minute discussion of what not to do.
Yes, very very important to not do any of the things they tell you explicitly not to do online. So we'll see. Maybe 2026 I'll be getting on TikTok. Maybe I'll just decide, that's too much work. That's generally how things go. But, yeah, thinking about Joe, the thing that got me off on this whole timeline tangent is the line where Skaz says in the intro, the first time I met Joe Murray was at a Hooters, which is great. And again, it was in a professional capacity, I believe. It was not just because they were going out for wings or anything.
Skaz says that all the time, how people think he was, just a fry cook at the Hooters meeting Joe, but that was not the case. I believe it was
teamwork, right?
It was street teamwork, or that they were both there with friends. But yeah, Skaz was not working at the Hooters.
Your first time meeting Joe Murray?
I believe I was an intern on the Toucher and Rich show, and Joe was filling in.
Wow, okay. I'm trying to think about my first time meeting Joe. It must have been back in 2014. We probably got paired together for a night show, like filling in or something. But, despite not remembering that magic moment, the moments that have followed over the years, the sing-alongs, it's brought great meaning to my life. Remember the first time I met McCarthy, too. It was when we had the Sports Hub, you can be the next Sports Hub host, weekend host. That's when I met Matt McCarthy. He was very supportive that evening, despite being a young pup in the industry himself and, being basically 7 or 8 years, I think, my junior. It made me feel very comfortable that night. It was appreciated. There's good people around this place, and I'm glad that, Joe and I, street team Joe and I need to be specific about my Joes, are now linked up here as, basically the 2026 version of Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man Randy Savage of radio. I'm going to be dropping references all night that I want to see if Joe can handle. I got a big Foxhole segment coming up at 8:50 where we're going to talk about the death of MTV. I don't even know if I can have a conversation with a 29-year-old about MTV aka music television, or at least it used to be. I mean, just to tease it here, Joe. When I say MTV, what does that mean to you?
Music videos. That's what mainly comes to mind.
Truly.
There were some good TV shows.
Not
in there.
Rob Dyrdek?
No, I was going to say Rob Dyrdek was my second thing. But yeah, mainly music videos and that's where you first found, the people that you love in the music industry kind of, were on MTV for the first time.
Joe, I'm not trying to beat up on you or anything for being younger than me. You have no say in that. I have no say in the fact that I'm in my 40s and just, languishing in middle age right now. But we'll talk a little bit about the death of MTV. That's a big, if you had told somebody at a certain point in time, who was I listening to? Was I listening to somebody? Was I just online last night? And this should explain the wide open nature of this show. We are wide open right now. 617-779-0985. I think it might have been on social media after watching the Bowls, or one of the specifically the Rose Bowl, is that if you told me that Indiana would have just wiped the floor with Alabama, like 10 years ago, any amount of years ago, that Indiana would have wiped the floor with Alabama in the Rose Bowl, it doesn't make any sense. Well, yeah, because the whole entire bowl format has been changed around, but also the fact that Indiana winning big over the Crimson Tide. My word, we had that going on. We had the Patriots, of course, preparing for Week 18. There has been no more damaging week in the Patriots season than Week 18, which is supposed to have the least meaning of all. You're playing what should be a gimme game against the Dolphins. Devon Achane now listed as doubtful. You have to wonder, what they're going to be bringing to the table as your opponent this week. But obviously the Diggs and Barmore accusations coming to light this week, just terrible timing for the team. Obviously the league has weighed in and said, we're not doing the exempt list. They laid it out very plainly that, you had to have an arraignment or an arrest or something to put one of these guys on the exempt list. At this point, we have arraignments set for the future, but the whole thing needs to play out in both the Diggs and the Barmore case, and we got nothing on either of those things today when both players spoke to the media, I believe, for the first time this week. But interesting developments from Foxborough in the fact that you're getting guys back. That's huge. And not just guys. Milton Williams and Will Campbell expected to be back in the fold. Robert Spillane back at practice, not expected to play, but just the fact that he's active again is huge. So, it's less about this game and more about where we land in terms of the seeding. Because there's a path. The old path. There's a path to the number 1 seed. It's right there. There's a path to being the number 3 seed and, maybe not having it as cushy as you might want it. So the importance of this game magnified here. How many times during the Patriots' run of success with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, among others, very important folks, I got a question for my son, right? So Patrick Pass knows members of my family. And I even worked with Patrick Pass in the past here. I believe once for what the heck was it? Monday night something we used to do around here. I forget. And my son has an autographed Patrick Pass football card. And he goes, "Dad, why wasn't Patrick Pass good at touchdowns?" And I was just like, "Son, you're not even scratching the surface. Patrick Pass did so much. You know about blocking?" And there were just so many guys that were a part of that run, right? But I think the common thread is week 17, it used to be. Now it's week 18. Used to just be nothing to those teams. Nothing to those teams. Because you were expected to be in the AFC Championship game at least every single year, and you were for just consecutively, year after year after year. But this one holds intrigue. And again, it's another little wrinkle in a Patriots season that's really just made me happy. You know, it's been very difficult to be negative this season. There have been very, very few ways to extract negativity from the 2025 Patriots season, now becoming the 2026 playoff season here. Because it's just been a lot of found joy, a lot of unexpected stuff clicking into place. I feel like if over the last 2 weeks we had certain members of our full-time staff here on the air, we would have been able to, because there's really masters of extracting the negativity were on the bench this week and unable to do the thing that they are best at. So, maybe, and no offense to Joe and Matt for the great show that they just hosted from 2 to 6, but maybe there's some negativity that they could have plumbed the depths of that they just, because they're not the masters of their craft there. I'm sorry. They weren't able to get down there and find that negativity deep in the hole of pessimism in Patriot Nation. But it's just been one of those seasons, and every week has some little gem, some little tidbit of meaning. I mean, even a game last week that was just a total joke wound up being just a party. 5 touchdowns, against a Jets team that means nothing. But 5 touchdowns for Drake May, just a beatdown, just a whole lot of fun. And it really, every week, you just kind of wonder what you're going to see. Now is the time, though, I think, getting Milton Williams into the fold on the defensive side, getting Will Campbell some reps on the offensive line. Williams with the high ankle, like those things are tricky, to say the least. So you don't want to re-aggravate that. Could really mess you up there. But getting those guys some reps before the playoffs, particularly if there's a bye involved here, I don't think there's going to be, but there's a path. Would be definitely helpful for the Patriots being their best selves for this potential playoff run here. 617-779-0985. I've got a lot of ideas for this show, but the thing that's got me most aggravated and most ticked off is actually a basketball story. It is a farce and a sham that Jaylen Brown did not win Eastern Conference Player of the Month for December, and Jalen Brunson did. And maybe that's a green teamer take. Maybe that's, just a hoops head taking his position right here to just shove it in your face and say, this is the thing we're going to talk about off the top here. Sham, farce. It's a meaningless award, but what was said means everything, I think, to Celtics fans, and also explains the state of the New York Knicks and how that goes at the NBA league offices. So we'll hit on that. Sean Sylver in for Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Want the lowest price on name brand tires? Town Fair Tire beats all the competition. We beat the wholesale clubs. We beat online prices. We beat all local tire dealers. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire. Hey, it's Hardy. If your attic insulation's outdated, call Revise, a Mass Save partner. They'll do a no-cost home energy assessment, and you could save 75 to 100% on insulation and air sealing. Don't wait. Visit callrevise.com or call 800-885-SAVE.
My name is Brian. I've lost 42 pounds on Awaken 180. I had a triple bypass in 2018. I had a hip replacement 2.5 years ago. My focus was just getting healthy and being consistent. With this plan, once you establish yourself, if I decide to cheat, I can cheat. I'm burning enough calories a day. I don't have any fear. It's not really a diet. It's a lifestyle change. It changed my
What is Jason Veritek coming up to bat or something? 98.5 The Sports Up. Sean Sylver with you on a Friday night. We close out the holiday stretch. This is not the last show of 2025, but I am confident that this is the last weekday show where we are split from our usual schedule. It's been the last couple of weeks. We've had a variety of fill-ins and other undesirables bracing these airwaves, myself included, myself perhaps most prominently among the undesirables. But I am here nonetheless. My canvas is blank, and my paintbrush has whatever color I want to spill on it for the next 3.5, close to 4 hours here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. We'll be having a guest in just about an hour, Lauren Campbell of Mass Live. Lauren does a lot of things over at Mass Live as a trending Boston sports news reporter. So she's kind of hitting on everything. I know there's a real Bruins interest there, so we'll talk about the Bees a little bit, maybe the Winter Classic. They also did an interesting thing recently where they did a quarter-century Bruins team for the last 25 years. Saw some interesting names pop up on that over at masslive.com as well. So we'll get into that. Seeing folks on the YouTube tonight as I check in. A couple of interesting things about the Patriots. Bonuses that could come to bear here. So one was, where's this Diggs quote? He needs 8 receptions to make $500,000, 30 yards for another $500,000, and 130 yards for another $1 million. So you don't think Stephon Diggs, despite the week that he's had, certainly a week, he is going to be coming into this game at Gillette looking to get paid. Hunter Henry, 5 more receptions, gets him $250,000. S Sports 101 says, I just want our boys to get theirs. There's a great fan right there. It's a good fan right there. Hunter Henry, and I said this the other night, talk about a guy, from that class of 2021 coming into this team. He's been here for that, pretty good, exciting 2021 season. He's been here for some lean years, but the thing is, he has been here. He's been healthy. He's been catching balls from whoever's thrown him his way. Great for him to get a little bit of shine this year. And that's all been a part of this. You had some professional ball players around Drake May. The professional ball players allow Drake May to be more comfortable to do what he does. And as he elevates, he makes all of those guys look even better. It's cyclical. It's I scratch your back, you scratch mine. So we got Pat's talk on the table. We got bowl game talk on the table. I mentioned Jason Veritek's walk-up theme that we just played there. We got Red Sox talk on the table. I love the hot stove. I love Baseball Hall of Fame talk, which came up this week as well. Pro Football Hall of Fame talk coming up this week. These are all things we could hit on. MTV is dead. But you know what? Third Eye Blind. We just played some Three Doors Down. Another band from that era, Third Eye Blind, played the Orange Bowl and got toasted for it. I want to have Joe cue up some Third Eye Blind for one of these rejoins later in the program because I could get down with that. Let's start in the Eastern Conference of the National Basketball Association. And initially I was going to do Celtics at 8. Celtics at 7 used to be a staple of this radio station. I figured let's do Celtics at 8. A Scott Wedman 8, an Antoine Walker 8, a Kristaps Porzingis, a Kemba Walker 8, right? But no, we're going to do it right now at 6:20 because of the breaking news today. What a sham and a travesty. And again, I know this is a completely meaningless award, but it's just perfect for me to get angry about. That the NBA has awarded the Eastern Conference Player of the Year to Jaylen Brunson. Player of the month, not player of the year. The Eastern Conference Player of the Year might be called an MVP, right? Player of the month, Jaylen Brunson, who averaged 30 points a game and 7 assists per game on 47% shooting for the month of December, a month where the Knicks went 11-4 and won the NBA Cup. Over Jaylen Brown, who just scored 30 points in 9 consecutive games, which is a record that nobody could shut up about, but only has been done in Celtics history by Larry Bird. averaged 31 points, more than Brunson, on 53% shooting, way higher than Brunson, higher percentage from downtown as well, more rebounds. Brunson on an average 1.5 assists per game better than Brown. I don't think that's a big difference right there. He actually plays defense. Why is Jaylen Brunson the Eastern Conference Player of the Month? I want reactions. I want answers. You want the truth. You can't handle the truth. I'm having a conversation with myself. Joe, I need you. I need you, Joe. Why is Jaylen Brunson getting this award?
Sean, I'm right with you. This makes no sense to me. Yes, are we green teamers? Perhaps. But like you said, every single stat is in Brown's favor outside of assists. We got points, rebounds, shooting percentage, 3-point shooting percentage. Jaylen Brown should be getting MVP votes based off this month, let alone player of the month. And I think head to head, we beat the Knicks and Brown had a better game than Brunson.
Yeah.
So I think in every single facet, Jaylen Brown has had a better month, and he's arguably a top 10, top 5 player right now. I don't think Jaylen Brunson is.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think this could be, you could look at it a few different ways here. One is the NBA is trying to really play up the NBA Cup thing, right? Because while we were just sitting on our hands waiting for basketball to be played, Joe, and I'm literally sitting over here on my hands, sitting over here waiting for basketball to be played all December long while this bloody NBA Cup had to play out, and we're just like, all right, when's the next Celtics game? Could we please? I don't care about this thing. And, I'm a guy who watches League Pass, but I like there to be a variety of games for me to tune into. Don't force me to watch the thing. And apparently the NBA Cup Final was a great game. I didn't watch it, but I heard a lot of people say it was great. Fine. But maybe this is just tied into we got the best player on the team that won the NBA Cup. Maybe they get consideration for Player of the Month.
Joe Murray pointed this out to me on his way out.
Yeah.
And did you see the clip of Paul Pierce saying kind of the reason why this is happening to Celtics players is because people hate the Celtics? Do you think that is what plays into part of the reason why Jaylen Brown might not be getting his flowers? I know in the past it's kind of happened to Tatum as well. Is the hatred for the Celtics playing a part in this, do you think, Sean?
I think you nailed it. And I'm not the type of person who wants to go with an us against the world mentality on too many things in sports, in Boston sports, because I think it's an easy trope, right, for people to just lean into that they hate us because they ain't us kind of thing, right? But you can't really do that anymore because Boston sports there's been one title in the last 6 years, so it's not we're not elite over here anymore. As we do our quarter century considerations and things like that, as we go from 2025 into 26. But I really think this is an instance of that, and it's twofold. One, it's because the league office has always been populated with people from the greater New York area because the league office is located in New York, and you got your replay center in Secaucus, and everything's always been based around there. The league office has always been out of New York. Red Auerbach used to have his hands full with the league office over a number of things. I mean, we could go back to the 90s when they had to, what was it? The Celtics had to keep Reggie Lewis's contract on the books after he died or something and take the cap hit for a dead player. Like it's constant. I think that plays into it. Another part of it is they just so badly want the Knicks. They just so badly want the Knicks to matter, and it's been that way forever, of course, but most prominently in recent years as there's been this spark. It's like, oh, wow, the Knicks are actually sort of not shooting themselves in the foot regularly anymore. They only shoot themselves in the foot in the playoffs. So, man, this team, they have a chance. It could be Knicks time. And they have built Jaylen Brunson, who's just a guy. He's really just a slightly above average player who works really hard and falls down every 5 seconds on the court. to put him in the pantheon of players in the league. I wouldn't be surprised if Jaylen Brunson gets more MVP votes than Jaylen Brown, just because of the mentality that's out there that he's been built up. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, who I got nothing against the guy personally, but he's decrepit. He gets treated like a superstar. Anybody who does anything in New York gets treated like a superstar. So of course there's that. Of course there's that. And then I think there's the fact that Jaylen Brown is he's going to get some flowers, but he's never going to get all the flowers. Certainly not as many as Jalen Brunson. Jaylen Brown's been putting the Celtics on his back, but because he's not Jason Tatum, and this is nothing against Tatum, but as I've said a million times, Tatum was anointed the minute he got into training camp. Jaylen Brown came here out of Cal. He was not a popular pick. His rookie year, he was not, did not appear to be anything super special. His ascent was gradual here in Boston. And by the time that he had fully, formed as the Jaylen Brown that we know, he was already the number 2. And the players, to their credit, meaning the two of them, the principals, Brown and Tatum, have been able to play off of each other and do it to a great high degree of success. But I think from the public perception, Jaylen Brown is always going to be number 2. He's my number 1. I love Jaylen Brown. And I love that he's doing what he's doing this season because he can get, he can rack up some awards like Eastern Conference Player of the Week and just get people talking about, look how damn good Jaylen Brown is. But because he's not Jason Tatum, and Joe made the point, Joe Murray, and Street Team Joe, you can tell me the same, what you think about this. If Jason Tatum had those numbers this month, he wins the award.
I'd agree with you. I think the public perception of Tatum, for whatever reason, is, he's got his share of, slack too. But for people, I guess, fall in love with Jason Tatum more, maybe because, whether it's the shoes, he's more open to the public. But I think Jaylen Brown, he's a man of principle. And I think, sometimes that can upset people, which is completely wrong. But,
yeah.
He doesn't have the shoe line. He's a streamer. He does things in a different way than most superstars.
He's a different kind of star, and that's what I love about him. Jason Tatum fits the mold of, your classic NBA superstar mold, and that's okay because that's savvy, right? Because he's been boosted by the business on that. The advertising. And yes, he's great in the way that he faces the media and the way that he, just kind of conducts himself publicly. He's a true professional and a stand-up dude. It's wonderful to have both of these guys representing the Boston Celtics, but Jaylen Brown stands on business in a slightly different way. And I think his skill is a little more like workmanlike than Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's kind of the guy who can pull the rabbit out of the hat because he's just that talented. And Jaylen Brown, of course, is too, because he's a highly successful NBA player, but his skill is a little more workmanlike. It's epitomized by the mid-range jump shot that he's adapted this year to high success. So the fact that Jaylen Brunson gets that award just boils my blood. Meanwhile, Jaylen Brown's got a leg lamp or something that says Fragile. Sorry, I can't lay off the holiday anecdotes now, even after the holiday. See folks line up on the phones. I know Dan in Hudson wants to talk about this one. Dan, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing okay.
So I think it's just like anything with the NBA, they're trying to put value into that NBA Cup. Mm-hmm. And the easiest way to put value in it is say, it takes this level of performance over the course of a month to win the NBA Cup. And Jaylen Brunson won the Cup, so they're going to take his month and overvalue it compared to Jaylen Brown so they can associate it down the road and say, listen, this is what it takes if you want to win the NBA Cup. You have to have an elite performance. You have to have a guy that performs, much like a guy going on a run through the playoffs. and it just adds value to that cup over the years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely know what you mean, Dan, and that's a very reasoned take, and I appreciate that call. That's a very reasonable take right there, that the NBA would want to pump up the contributions to an NBA Cup win. Sure, because all of those things, those are kickers and contracts, right? Like Jaylen Brunson's probably going to get some little bonus off of that Eastern Conference Player of the Month award. So, good for him, I guess. He cashed in on his performance on the NBA Cup in addition to the prize that he won. But it's, I just want to get mad about it, Joe. Did the Knicks make you as mad as they make me?
Yeah, I think that playoff series last year really cemented it. I mean, we haven't had a too much of a rivalry with the Knicks since maybe, I guess, Carmelo and KG kind of going at it, and you didn't really like that. But they were never
that series.
Yeah, they were never like a threat enough to make me mad. But last year, I think they made me mad after that series, and they rubbed it in a little bit more. I know Josh Hart was talking about, like Boston owns New York now, and it's like they didn't even win a title. Like, there's too much bragging going on for a team that hasn't won a title.
Classic Knicks. I mean, yeah, you bring up that Carmelo KG series, right? Like, I still have this GIF saved on my phone of J.R. Smith celebrating like he just won the Revolutionary War or something because he hit a three-pointer to end the second quarter against the Celtics in that playoff series. Like, it's just, I don't know what made me put J.R. Smith and Revolutionary War together there, but that's where I am. Just a total turkey, that guy. And the Knicks just, like Linsanity. Like, I love Jeremy Lin, but just like the way they played that up and the way Carmelo Anthony, like, coming home was – it's basically like Jesus was resurrected to come and save New York basketball, which was so needed, apparently. The hyperbole. You can't get enough hyperbole about New York basketball. And, now they've got Jaylen Brunson, who they can install all their hopes and dreams onto him. It's funny, too, and I'm way past the break because that's how I do. But, like, I was at a Christmas party with talking to a Knicks fan. And, like, I like the guy. I think he's great. He's very intelligent. He's probably a smarter human being than me. But just listening to him talk about the Knicks was just like, oh, man. He gets it. But it's all wrong. It's all wrong. The Knicks are always going to have inflated sense of everything about themselves. And Jaylen Brunson... Us being told today that Jaylen Brunson is better than Jaylen Brown is the biggest sham that I could possibly think of. 617-779-0985. There's my rant on that. I got plenty more in the holster here, folks. And we got about 3.5 hours to do this stuff here. Sean Sylver here with you till 10 on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Okay, the New England Patriots back in action against the Dolphins this Sunday at Gillette. They will put a bow on that 2025 regular season. Kayshon Boutte has cleared concussion protocol. Milton Williams also had his first full practice since he returned from his injury. And Mike Vrabel indicated Will Campbell should go in this game as well. Robert Spillane back at practice, not expected to play on Sunday. Devon Achane, doubtful for Miami. Joe Mazzulla, the Eastern Conference Coach of the Month. That was one award that the Celtics were able to secure today. The Olympic hockey rosters announced. Jeremy Swayman and Charlie McAvoy made the cut for Team USA. Elias Lindholm will represent Sweden. The NHL Winter Classic is tonight in Miami, of all places, with the Panthers hosting the Rangers. Their Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Sean Sylver, Boston's Over Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
Having trouble reading? You're not alone. Boston Vision is where thousands go to fix it, including some of Boston's biggest sports stars, like Big Papi. When David Ortiz got tired of readers, he trusted Boston Vision. And now he's seeing 20/20 again. Papi got his vision back, and you can too. Book your free evaluation today at bostonvision.com.
What's up, everybody? It's Adam and your boy Lou from Central 44 Jeep Dodge Ram and Rainham. The holidays are here, football's rolling. It's the perfect time to upgrade your drive during the Wrap Up the Year sales event. We've got an unbelievable gift waiting for you. Get a 2025 Jeep Wrangler Sport S lease for $229 a month for 36 months with $39.95 down, 7,500 miles per year. That's the kind of holiday deal that brings cheer to every driveway. We're just minutes from anywhere, so you can upgrade your ride, spread a little holiday magic, and still be home before kickoff. Tell them what's up, Lou.
Central 44 Jeep Dodge Ram and Rainham, from our driveway to yours.
Hi, I'm Richard Brackett with Stazione De Federal.
And I'm David Alphonse with The Federal.
And we're the restaurant fellas.
If you're looking for a great night out, visit me, David, at The Federal. Try our shellfish tower or one of our dry-aged steaks paired with one of our great wine selections.
Or, if it's authentic Italian from our scratch kitchen paired with a fine wine, come see me, Richard, at Stazione De Federal.
Both restaurants are in Waltham. Stazione De Federal on Moody Street or The Federal on Main.
And both roads lead to a delightful dining experience. But my mustache is cooler.
Really, Richard?
Try both The Federal and Stazione De Federal.
We look forward to seeing you.
And thanks.
Celtics fans, La Playa awaits. You could win the ultimate flyaway trip to see the Boston Celtics play in Miami, full of the beach, hoops, and a time you'll never forget. To enter, look for the Corona La Playa awaits display at participating retail locations, scan the QR code, and enter for your chance to win. It's that easy. But you must be 21 plus and rules and restrictions apply. Corona, the official cerveza of the Boston Celtics. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, it's Sean Doherty, co-owner of Joyce Cooling and Heating in Nashua. You've probably seen our trucks on the road. That's because since 1995, we've been providing expert HVAC services for both residential and commercial customers across New Hampshire and northern Mass, including installations, repairs, and maintenance. So this winter, don't be left in the cold. Whether it's a heating tune-up or maybe it's time for a new high-efficiency boiler or water heater, we'll ensure your heat is running at peak comfort and efficiency. Schedule right online at joycecool.com and our team will be there. That's joycecool.com.
The golf season never ends at Golf Lounge 18. Golf Lounge 18 has indoor golf facilities in Dedham, Braintree, and Peabody, powered by TrackMan launch monitors to keep your game warm as the temperatures drop. Grab the squad and bring your game to Golf Lounge 18. Book your tee time at golflounge18.com.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month, level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. Call Term Busters for a quote, 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate for preferred non-tobacco rate class, exam required to qualify. For details, call 1-800-908-7636. Paid for by Robert Livinger, Insurance Agent.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. Their max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Need a new roof for your home or business? Call East Coast Metal Roofing, lifetime guaranteed roofs, and get 10% off during their New Year savings event. Call 844-611-ECMR or visit eastcoastmetalroofing.com.
This is a public service announcement from 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Think of your family, your friends, and then call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Quit smoking, not just for yourself, but for the ones you love and love you. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Everybody knows Joe.
Just keeps getting better.
Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ariano Street Team Joe, we are bringing it to you in the place of Joe Murray here on Boston's Home for Sports. Go until 10 o'clock. It's a full 4 hours. I know for some of you, you'd rather stick needles in your eyes. But for some of you out there, those of you watching on YouTube tonight, guess it's a happening place. We're getting some great comments in the what do you call it? In the chat. Great comments in the chat. Somebody had one good one that I was going to hit on. Oh gosh. Yeah, whatever. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up soon enough. But hey, thanks for being over there. You can find the 98.5 The Sports Hub YouTube page. You can find Joe on there, all of our other fine quality programming as well. Yeah. My friend Brandon has referred to this show as Sean Sylver's ADHD happy hour. Truer words were never spoken. I mean, for one, it's the time of the year, right? We have been subjected to this college football playoff. If your brains have not already been rotted by that, congratulations. Mine is rotted. So there's been that from a sports perspective, right? There's been that. There's been fits and starts with leagues taking breaks and then coming back, and the Celtics and Bruins both on the West Coast. So, of course, those games are happening in the middle of the night. I know that on New Year's Eve I was not watching the Bruins dominate Edmonton, but my friends in Edmonton were, much to their chagrin. Mike and Liza, shout out. And, that went very well for them. Not Mike and Liza, but for the Bruins with a 6-2 win. Celtics winners against the Kings last night. So they're 3-1 so far on their road trip. But just kind of all over the place. And the kids are home. You know what happened to me today, Joe? I was on social media, and I got how the algorithm, they know what you're talking about. Sometimes they just know what you're thinking. And, it's a Friday. It's day 11, I believe, that my kids have been in my house or, around my house, not at school. And, you get kind of fried by all the madness and the stuff going on. And I got that video. I got that, perfect video. Somebody retweeted. I think it was on Twitter. It was Jerry Thornton retweeted a video of this woman who was like, I'm 82 years old, and I wish I could wake up and be 30-something years old and have my kids, be young and have my car be messy and my dishes undone in my sink and have my life be chaotic because I miss it because now I'm old and everything's quiet. And I was just like, you know what? All right, yeah. As much of a mess as my house is right now, I tried to keep the dishes done. But, as many Christmas presents are splayed all across the dining room and the living room and, still not put away. As many attempts as I've made to right the ship and bring some sort of order to that chaos. As many uneaten goldfish are in the cushions of my truck right now. It is all good. It's all good because it is life happening right now. So that's the week that I've been having. And that is why, indeed, this show is Sean Sylver's ADHD happy hour until 10 o'clock. And, Joe, I'm glad you're along for the ride.
Couldn't be more happy to be here with you, Sean.
Matt?
I've been a fan of you for a while, although I did just find you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're now Twitter friends, but I have been a fan of you for a while, and I'll be honest, it's a little surreal to be working alongside you now. I've been a fan of so many here, and especially you. And I enjoy all the stuff you talk about and the different mannerisms you talk about it. We talk sports, but it doesn't get too serious, and that's right where my ballpark is.
Well, I mean, Joe, I will get upset. I was aggravated last segment there. Very aggravated. I felt that was a personal affront to me by the NBA. But, you're right. I mean, I don't know. Like we said the other night, we're from the Joe Murray school. I think that it's important not to take things too seriously, particularly when it's a Friday night. And we're going late. But I do want to hit on the college bowls a little bit, actually. And it's kind of wild what we've been watching here. Only one team that got the bye got a win. We've seen Indiana roll up Alabama. We've seen Oregon shut out Texas Tech. I mean, we're being forced to consume these games, and they've largely been brutal. thank goodness for the Ole Miss Georgia game last night. But, I do want to get Joe's take on this and your take on it too. And I know this isn't a college football city. There's probably been about 1 million think pieces over the last 10 to 15 years about, what the heck is Boston College doing? Why can't it be like it was when they had Matt Ryan in town again? And, there was some relevance to that program. But, we're not going to solve that tonight, nor do I think a lot of people want to solve that here because of this. Boston, a city of fractured college allegiances, people from a lot of, you've got a lot of schools right here in and around the city and in the region and in New England. And, you also just don't have any powerful college football programs in the immediate area. So nobody cares about BC football. I'm not going to try and solve that on the air, even though I think it's an interesting thing to talk about. But, you look at these bowls, and this is what this week is all about. This is what we've been told forever. But it's not holiday week. It's not Christmas week. It's not Hanukkah. It's not Kwanzaa. It's bowl week. We are supposed to have an imprint in the couch so large and so specific to the size and dimensions of our butts this week because we're supposed to be planted there consuming all of the bowls. And they've been trash. Terrible. The college football playoff games have been trash. I don't particularly have a rooting interest because, again, I grew up here. I enjoyed, I guess, Alabama football a little bit because one of my best friends went there. I guess as a kid, I like watching BC. Maybe Notre Dame because they were on Channel 7. So as far as a rooting interest right now, I don't care. But just give me something that's entertaining. And isn't this playoff supposed to eliminate some of the lopsided nature of, we're placing a school from this conference against another school randomly from this conference. We don't know how they're necessarily going to match up. That was how it went with bowls for years and years. Now there's a system. You win the playoffs, you advance. We're supposed to be getting the best of the best. Not good. Not good. Not good at all. So, I'm already seeing, I saw an awful announcing tweet today. Is the move to a 16-team format inevitable? I always thought that 8 would have been the sweet spot. I guess you got to accommodate too many interests here, and that's why we wound up with what we got. But just no bueno. Joe, do you care about the college football playoffs? Like, do you have a rooting interest? Is there a particular team that you think is going to take it? I mean, I guess the fact that we have no idea who's going to win at this point is kind of intriguing.
Yeah, I would say Indiana has been my go-to team all season. I have a couple of friends that went to Indiana, but more importantly, they've never won anything. So I feel like it's cool to see them in the spotlight and kind of have the Heisman candidate, or Heisman winner, and Fernando Mendoza, who should probably be the first overall pick. So they've been an interesting team for me to watch all season. But in terms of the games yesterday, Sean, I won't lie, I fell asleep during the second game. The first game was awful to watch, and the second game was right behind it. I thought awful to watch, and it was a tough showing for college football. Trying to make a case to expand the playoffs. I didn't think it was that great of a product.
Yeah, I wanted to expand over the previous format, but now I could almost say shrink after some of the stuff that we've seen so far. I mean, maybe it'll take a couple of years to get the footing. But I agree with you. Yeah, the Cinderella story, I guess, the bad team. I mean, really what this is they were able to play the recruiting and the transfer portal right, which is all of, that's what it's all about now. And in a way, that's shaking up the hierarchy of college football where the same teams from the same conferences always used to get the same best players, right? And now some teams that have skillfully manipulated this new process have been able to score. And that's great. That's fantastic for them. And again, I love a good Cinderella story. Sure, Indiana looked just comprehensively dominating against an Alabama team that's certainly not the best Alabama team to come down the pipe, but had a comeback win in the previous round, right? Weren't able to come back yesterday. In fact, I went to take a shower in the second half of the Bama game, and my son came in and goes, "Hey, Dad, guess what?" And I go, "What is it, son?" And he goes, "Alabama came back." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "No, just kidding. They lost 38-3. So my son played me on that. But it has not been a good showing. Further, I don't get this whole thing with the New Year's Six. Why do we have what is it? The rose, the sugar, the orange, the cotton, the peach, and the fiesta are always going to be the bowls here that are the ones in the playoff. What about the Citrus Bowl? What about the Gator Bowl? Or the Sun Bowl? Did you know that the Sun is the third oldest bowl? Rose Bowl, Sugar, Orange, and Sun all came in right after that. The Gator Bowl is from 1946, the sixth oldest bowl game. And we stick that with some junk teams. Further, who is going to be the People's Champ Bowl? A lot of people say the Pop-Tarts Bowl is the one where the team that doesn't make the playoffs, that's going to be the People's Champ. I don't know if I want that coming from the Pop-Tarts Bowl. And it shouldn't be 12 against 22. It should be whatever the top two teams that don't make it should be in the People's Champ Bowl, whoever it's going to be, the Sun, the Citrus, the Gator, whatever, should have the next two best teams. And then you can have an argument's sake for schlubs like us on sports radio. This is the team that finished 13th. This is the team that should have been in the playoff. But alas, I guess we grant that to the winner of the Pop-Tarts Bowl. The only reason I watch the Pop-Tarts Bowl is to see the disgraceful things that the Pop-Tart people do to each other. But I digress. 617-779-0985. We're going to try and get this thing back on track. Wrap this bowl conversation up. I don't know. I was just very disappointed. I continue to be with this year. And why so many lopsided national championship games, too? It's just... Are we going to actually have a good one this year? I don't know. I'm not super confident. But either way, we pilot along here. We're about 20 minutes away from having a guest, which means maybe we'll shift gears. Maybe we'll talk a little Bruins next segment here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Sean Sylver with you till 10.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to start strong. With best-in-class strength and cardio equipment, you can give everything you've got. Save $28 or more when you join today for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 9th. See Club for details.
Hey, Rodenizer Home Services is heating things up. 5 lucky homeowners could win a brand new high-efficiency gas furnace completely free. If your furnace is 10 years or older, head to Rodenizer.com/5 free furnaces to enter. No purchase necessary. Rules online.
I'm Jen Harper, the founder of Cheekbone Beauty. We grew the brand to like $1 million from a corner of my basement. I don't feel like I'm technology savvy whatsoever, but companies like Shopify exist, so you can literally build a website in an evening. I really look at it like the sort of the level of the playing field, and Shopify just made it like foolproof. It was so easy. I don't think I could ever go work for anyone else ever again. We're Cheekbone Beauty, and we're powered by Shopify.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300
$50.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HERE25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HERE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HERE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Celtics fans, La Playa awaits. You could win a flyaway trip to see the Boston Celtics in Miami. Just look for the Corona La Playa awaits display at participating locations and scan the QR code to enter. Must be 21 plus. Rules and restrictions apply. Corona, the official cerveza of the Boston Celtics.
Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. The Peterson School is now hiring for new instructors at all locations.
Hi, I'm Adam Norcott, an electrical instructor at the Peterson School. I've learned so much from my students and their experiences, and it's made me a better teacher, foreman, and electrician.
Visit petersonschool.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. Their max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
This hour on the Sports Hub brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people.
From the Delaware Tiger Studios, this is Boston's home for sports. Touchdown! The flagship station of the Patriots ruined the Celtics. WBCFM Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station celebrating 65 years of broadcasting. Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The New England Patriots will put a bow on their 2025 regular season Sunday at Gillette Stadium when they host the Dolphins. Kayshon Boutt's cleared concussion protocol. Milton Williams had his first full practice since returning from injury. Head coach Mike Vrabel said that Williams and Will Campbell should go on Sunday as well. Robert Spillane returned to practice, but he is not expected to play. Devon Achane doubtful for Miami. The Celtics wrapping up their road trip tomorrow night against the Clippers. Joe Mazzulla, your Eastern Conference Coach of the Month. And the NHL Winter Classics tonight in Miami, of all places. The Panthers host the Rangers at around 8 o'clock. World Juniors also tonight in hockey. A whole bunch of stuff going on in hockey. We got the Olympic team, too, if you're curious about those rosters. Hey, we'll get into it. Your Sports Up headlines brought to you by... Oh, this is Dr. Franke of Boston Prolotherapy. You know, I told myself I'd do better with these reads. The Sports Up headlines brought to you by Boston Prolotherapy. Don't let joint pain get you off the course, or trail. Eliminate that pain with Dr. Franke of Boston Prolotherapy. I'm Sean Sylver, Boston's Over Sports. 98.5 The Sports Up. Probably a better effort on that ad read coming up at 7:30.
Felger and Maz are just his pregame.
They've been getting wholesale deals for years.
It's Joe Murray on the...
And derided online. I guess it didn't go very well. I love Third Eye Blind. You know, I actually knew that they were going to be playing in the bowl because I follow Third Eye Blind on social media. Do I recall ever doing this? No, but I remember there was a time, if you can think back to an innocent time, Joe, where I put in all of my favorite bands, like all of them. I put in like 80, musical acts that I wanted into Facebook because, I just wanted to show all my interests. I'm a big music guy. Third Eye Blind, totally one of my favorite bands. I've seen them like 5 or 6 times. They got a lot of hits. Deep Cuts, great. That first album they put out, fantastic. There was even a time where after I graduated college, I learned that they were playing the spring weekend show. So a buddy of mine, this is like several years after, so a buddy of mine and I schemed a way to get back down to our alma mater and check out the spring weekend show, despite being like, in our mid to late 20s. Whatever. It's things you do to see Third Eye Blind. It's a great song, Semi-Charmed Life. Joe, you aware / a fan of this band?
I am aware of Semi-Charmed. So this is, I would say this is kind of like the beginning of my music likes. Like I started liking music around, this time. But Sean, we're new friends, and I'm curious. Something I do with Joe, and because I'm new friends with Joe, is we talk about top 5 things, like top 5, favorite foods, top 5 favorite video games, just to get to know each other better. Off the top of your head, can you name me like some of your couple favorite bands that you would say, or a couple of your favorite artists?
Hey, that's
just
great.
So I can get a vibe from it.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, Van Halen, all-time number 1. That's just been since I was like a real wee kid.
How many concerts have you been to of Van Halen? Well, and where is your favorite one?
Limited ability to see Van Halen concerts because they've only toured, I think, 2 or 3 times, since the 90s, right? Because Van Halen, famously, things always up in the air with them. But I saw them in 2004 when Eddie Van Halen was clearly undergoing some issues, and that was not a great tour, but I liked it because it was my first time seeing them. I saw them again in 2007. I did not go on a different kind of Truth tour or any of the stuff that happened right before it kind of all stopped. So I've seen them a couple times. That was great. I've seen Sammy Hagar a couple of times too. And he's, going out with Michael Anthony from Van Halen and Joe Satriani. And, they really ran back a lot of the classic Van Halen stuff. I saw them a couple summers ago. It was fantastic. Sam's in his late 70s now. Still good. So Van Halen. Tom Petty. And with or without the Heartbreakers. Third Eye Blind, for sure. I know. Hate on me for the pick. Love Third Eye Blind. Gin Blossoms. They're probably only for 2 albums, but one of them is one of my all-time favorite albums.
I don't think I've heard of them. That's the first band you've mentioned I haven't heard of.
Do you know the song Hey Jealousy?
I'm not too sure. I don't think so.
Tomorrow we can drive around this town.
Oh, yeah. Now
Let the cops chase us around.
That's a banger.
Okay. I'm just doing it with like Joe would. You got to sing.
I was good. That was better than I was expecting of a voice right there.
So them... because their debut album is perfect. And I actually saw them. I don't know if I went purposefully to be going. I think I just kind of arrived there and was like, oh, it's Hardy, Mark Bertrand, Kristen Sermon, who worked here for a long time. Saw a bunch of folks from the station at the Gin Blossoms concert. Once. They're great. And, again, hate on me for these 90s selections, but that's, you cut your teeth. Like, I cut my teeth on Van Halen because it was the favorite band of my cousins. I'm the youngest of 5 boy cousins that all grew up on the same street, and they all liked Van Halen. So, of course, I liked Van Halen, too. I remember, my mind exploding when I heard Eddie Van Halen shredding the guitar solo on Beat It by Michael Jackson, and I had to have more. So, yeah, and, Third Eye Blind, a near-perfect debut album, despite diminishing returns since. But the thing about Third Eye Blind, it's interesting. They're playing in a college bowl game. Everyone was like, they're not relevant anymore. Third Eye Blind's actually been quite clever over the last 20 years or so because they go out on tour with bands that are younger than them, or appeal to a younger audience. So their opener might be some indie or band that you would hear on college radio, and then Third Eye Blind comes on. So they're dragging in younger people to their concerts. When I was at a concert of theirs 3 years ago, I have seen them at least a half a dozen times. I was trying to count earlier. I saw a bunch of people in their 20s and early 30s, and I was just like, really? These guys came out in 97. Y'all were babies.
So you've seen them 6 or 7 times, you say?
Yeah, 6, 7 times, certainly. I thought it was 5, 6, but now we're definitely up to 6, 7. And who else? Matthew Good. He's a Canadian singer-songwriter, very ornery. is another guy that I like and have seen a few times. That would be a top 5 off the top of my head. But like Rolling Stones, I could get down with. I like a lot of like classic hip hop. There's just a variety of ways that I could go with that list, but that's what comes to mind.
And what would you say is your favorite individual concert you've been to? Artist and venue.
I'll give you a weird one. One that you might not expect. It sticks in my, like I've seen Paul McCartney, like that, fantastic, like seeing Paul McCartney, amazing. The Van Halen, like really good show I went to definitely ranks up there. There's been some small shows, like a band called Beach Slang that I saw a couple times and really gravitated toward, but they're now defunct and their lead singer got like Me Too'd and, just bad stuff. But I would give one to, I saw Bon Jovi at Gillette. And usually I like a small venue, right? Bon Jovi at Gillette. This is like 20 some odd years ago. I went with a girl who said she was really a big Bon Jovi fan. It turns out she only knew like, You Give Love a Bad Name and Bad Medicine. But they played for, it seemed like hours. The energy was nonstop and it rained. It rained cats and dogs. During the show, and they kept going, and I just remember being like, "That was kick ass." Sheryl Crow opened; she was good. The Goo Goo Dolls opened as well, a band that I liked. They kind of became a little too adult contemporary for me at one point, but I did not like them as much.
So were these the people who
Bon
opened?
Jovi.
Were they not famous at the time? Because I feel like those are A-list people now. Right?
It was Sheryl Crow, Bon Jovi, or Sheryl Crow, Goo Goo Dolls, and Bon Jovi. Like just hits, right? A night full of hits, and the concert went forever because you had 3 acts, all established acts, and then it rained. And, the girl I was with, I'm pretty sure she wanted to go, and I was just like, no, this is too good. It's too good. We're sticking this one out. I would put that in. I mean, when you see a band with as many hits as Bon Jovi and just doing it at the top of their game, how can you not have a great time? Are these bands that you like as well, or what's your style?
So my dad, he had me growing up on U2.
Yeah,
U2 is that's probably who I've seen in concert the most. So I'd say U2. I like Migos. I like I kind of like all stuff all over the place. I like Morgan Wallen. So I have a wide variety of artists I like. I like Kanye West. I know he's an interesting character. Probably not everyone's favorite, but I do like his music.
Yeah, right.
I'm all over the place. I have heard all the people you were mentioning. I do like Sheryl Crow. I do like Third Eye Blind. 3 Doors Down. Who sings Californication? Red Hot Chili Peppers.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, that's probably my top listen to on Spotify at least this year.
Okay. Yeah, you're Spotify Wrapped. I'd almost want to get into that Spotify Wrapped. All right. So we got a lot of roads we can cover, and sometimes you got to when you're going till 10 o'clock at night. Another thing that you might need when you're going till 10 o'clock at night is a little palate cleanse. And guess what? If you're not here for the 90s music conversation, I get the perfect way to rebound from that. And that is an actual professional journalist in our midst. As I said, we've done it before. We will do it again. Lauren Campbell of Mass Live Sports joining us. She's the trending Boston sports writer over there. She writes on just a mass of different things on that website. It's amazing, her output. But we will get her input on the Bruins and a variety of other topics coming up here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
It's that time of year again. Happy Honda Days. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Accord or a 4.99% APR on a 2026 Civic. Hurry into your local Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic SI and Type R.
Hey,
It's Felger here, and Boston hockey is back. So grab an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your Bruins on the ice. Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Proud partner of the Boston Bruins. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
What if the bank worked with you? Because it is you. South Shore Bank is a mutual bank. Our clients are our stakeholders, and partnerships are our priority. We want to build up our community because we're part of it. That means when you win, we win. And that we still includes you. What do you even call that? Double win? Twice as nice? A 2-for-1? We've got another name for it. Sharing success. South Shore Bank. Member FDIC, DIF, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, it's Maz. Rodenizer Home Services is about to heat things up from November through March. 5 lucky homeowners could win a brand new high-efficiency gas furnace completely free. If your furnace is 10 years or older, outdated, and unreliable, this is your chance to upgrade at no cost. Just head to Rodenizer.com/5 free furnaces to enter. And that's Rodenizer.com/5 free furnaces. 5 months, 5 winners, 5 free furnaces. Stay warm this winter with Rodenizer Home Services. No purchase necessary. Full contest rules online at Rodenizer.com.
You can help create a more peaceful community through the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute, a center of healing, teaching, and learning for families and communities impacted by murder, trauma, grief, and loss. Help to create and sustain an environment where all families can live in peace and all people are valued. Support the services, advocacy, and training they provide to transform society's response to homicide. Give today or volunteer at ldbpeaceinstitute.org.
Hey New England, Drake May here. I'm always striving for greatness on the field, but greatness doesn't wait. It gets up, shows up, and moves forward. It takes hard work, ingenuity, and progress to achieve it. That's exactly what Chevy had in mind with the Chevy Silverado. Built bold, built for what's next. It has it all. Power, versatility, tech, comfort, the sky's the limit. Everything a great quarterback is looking for on the road. Because I know the Silverado is striving for that greatness just like me. Get to your local New England Chevy dealer today and check it out. The Chevy Silverado. Built to lead, built for greatness.
The Peterson School is now hiring for new instructors at all locations.
Hi, I'm Adam Norcott, an electrical instructor at the Peterson School. I've learned so much from my students and their experiences, and it's made me a better teacher, foreman, and electrician.
Visit petersonschool.com.
Want the lowest price on name brand tires? Town Fair Tire beats all the competition. We beat the wholesale clubs. We beat online prices. We beat all local tire dealers. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire. Sunday, the AFC East champion Patriots finished the regular season at home against the rival Miami Dolphins.
Touchdown, Patriots.
And Gillette Stadium will be rocking.
Throws it left, works it into his hands. Touchdown, Patriots.
Jasper and Murray kick off our game day coverage from Splitsville at 1:30. Kickoff with Bob and Zoe is at 4:25 on the Safety Insurance 98.5, the Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
Touchdown, Patriots.
The Pats, the Dolphins, on your home of postseason New England Patriot football. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Quick, smelly.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
98.5 the Sports Hub. Sean Sylver in for Joe Murray on a Friday night. Got Street Team Joe handling the board duties. We've been all over the place in the first, let's see, let me do my math here. 60 minutes plus another 20. The first 80 minutes of this program, and I expect the remainder to be no different because there is no better place to be on a Friday night in Boston than on the air. And I'm sure that someone else who is certainly convinced of this would be Lauren Campbell, who's our guest this hour here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Lauren is with Mass Live Sports. If you don't know, you should. She's the trending Boston sports writer over there, writes on a variety of topics. And we're really excited to have Lauren back on the air on the Hub. How are you, Lauren? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I figured I would just check in here. I mean, New Year's Eve is a big thing for a lot of folks out there. You can answer this one truthfully. Were we up watching the Bees? Were we on assignment? Were we participating in some revelry? How was your New Year's Eve?
We were watching the Bees. I've had the flu for the last almost 2 weeks now, so I finally felt well enough to like exist in a world that was beyond my house. So my husband and I went to my parents for a little bit, and then we got home for the Bruins game and just chilled on the couch. But 10-10, don't recommend the flu.
Yeah, no, definitely not something recommended. And yeah, you make me feel kind of like a baby for talking about having the sniffles the other night when I was in here with Joe. Not a full blown flu. I'm glad you're better. So you got some time to watch the Bees, chill out, and relax on New Year's Eve. Obviously, coming off a 6-game skid that started with a loss to the Oilers on your own ice. I got some friends who live in Edmonton, and I was talking to them beforehand, and I was just like, oh, yeah, this isn't going to be good for us. Enjoy, have fun, Happy New Year's. Seemed like things clicked for the Bruins. Was it just a case of, hey, another bad Edmonton goalie that they took advantage of, or were there some takeaways there where you say, okay, maybe this is something to build on?
No, I think it's definitely something to build on. I think, first and foremost, I think they were sick of losing and losing in the way that they were. And I think, too, they knew if they just shoot enough at this goalie, that good things will happen when you shoot the puck. And I think that they took advantage of that. The defense played well. The offense was there. Obviously, David Pastrnak looked really good. And it was just it felt like they were just going back to the basics of what worked for them. And then they kind of got away from that during their 6-game losing skid there. And they all said that. They said, we need to get back to the structure that made sense to us and that gave us success. And something must have clicked in practice, on the flight to Edmonton, whatever it was, it worked, and they played a full 60 minutes, which they haven't been able to do during the stretch either. So it was just a lot of just getting back to the basics and just playing that gritty hockey and that being hard to play against that they have been throughout stretches of the season where they've put together strong winning streaks.
That's a great point. The 60-minute game for sure, and gritty hockey, of course, a hallmark of. A lot of Bruins fans just love seeing a team kind of, plug away and get nasty and, win games by just outworking people. We're kind of seeing a parallel with that. I think a lot of folks kind of say the Celtics right now, they're a max effort team. They're down a lot of superstars, and they really got to go out and give you 48 minutes to be able to beat a lot of teams. Patriots have been kind of the same way. Sure, their schedule has, people call them a cream puff schedule so far, but the Patriots under Vrabel have really established this kind of, hey, we're going out there, we're giving you 60 minutes of football, we're giving you our best shot. There's no let up. The Bruins under Sturm have shown, at least for the majority of the season, a lot of that, and I feel like, Sturm's been one of my favorite storylines out of the season. I was just going to kind of take your temperature on, in the realm of, like, who is probably most responsible for this. Would you put it on the coaching? Would you put it somewhere else? Maybe a combination of things for how the Bruins are still in this playoff hunt when we expected probably that they wouldn't be?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture. I think it starts with Sturm. I think he came in and he knew exactly what he wanted this team to be. He knew the identity that he wanted to build, and he knew kind of what the structure he was looking for from these players. I feel like they really haven't had an identity since Bruce Cassidy left. I think things just worked well under Jim Montgomery because you had Bergeron, you had Krejci, and you had Chara. You had all these great people who were able to leave the legacy in good hands. And then it falls apart under Montgomery. Joe Sacco can't do a whole lot with what's in front of him. And it's just a lot of players not really knowing where this team is going. And Marco Sturm has a clear direction in where this team indeed is going. So I think that it's like I said, it starts with him, and then the players. You have David Pastrnak, who's been there for a long time. He has the A. You have Nikita Zadorov, who has really stepped up and taken on a leadership role from year 1 to year 2. And of course you have, the McAvoys, and then Geeky has come in too and really played a really big part in this locker room shift the last, year really. And it's just players just buying in. You have a good mix of veterans and young players who want to win and who want to see this, who want to be part of an Original Six organization, get back to the playoffs and make a meaningful playoff run. And someone like Sturm knows exactly what the fans expect and what it means to win in the city of Boston, and what it takes to build a winning culture and what it takes to build a winning team. He played with a lot of great people while he was here. He learned a lot while he was here, learned under a lot of really good people, and he can take a lot of what he's learned from his time with LA, and then in the minors there, he can really just kind of put this all together and build the identity that he's looking for and get the Bruins back to not necessarily the big bad Bruins that they were for so long, but a team that people are look at the schedule and say, oh crap, we're playing the Bruins. We have to bring our best game if we're going to play them.
Yeah, you mentioned the kind of direction that he has them on and the identity that he's forming for them and kind of how the young players or unheralded players that they have in the mix here are taking to that, and that's produced success. One of the topics that's come up a lot and was coming up a lot more before the losing streak, I don't know if that's cooled a whole lot, was, oh, hey, maybe these Bruins need to make a trade. Would they bring in like a Matthias Maselli or, say, a Kiefer Sherwood from Vancouver? Like, those are names, those are at least guys who, I don't know, you'd probably see on like your fantasy hockey roster necessarily, and probably, they contribute to winning hockey. But is a trade something that could be damaging, I guess, or not, counterproductive to what Sturm's trying to do? Where do you lie on the whole letting this young group kind of grow up together versus tweaking and maybe trying to get a team that's playoff ready for this year?
Yeah, I think that a trade, if they are going to make a trade, it needs to be for top 6 scoring talent. I think they have enough size on the bottom 6. I think they have enough. Cam Neely called it piss and vinegar. I think they have enough of that on the bottom 6. But I think I think that building chemistry is incredibly important, especially during a rebuild or a retool, whatever you want to call what the Bruins are doing right now. But adding a veteran, someone who can score, and like I said, someone who's on the top 6, I think that is something they could explore. They should explore over bringing in another bottom 6 player. I just think they have a lot of those, and you have a lot of people waiting in Providence, waiting for a shot. And I think that if you do want to build a playoff team, you have to figure out, where does Fabian Lysell fit in with this team? Where does Matt Patra fit in with this team? And then you have Will Zellers and James Hagens knocking on the door here. You have Will Zellers lighting up World Juniors right now. So you wonder, there's younger kids waiting on the doorstep, and then you still have the young kids in Providence just kind of waiting for their turn to be called up, and they need to figure out kind of where they lie, I think, before they go in and bring someone else in where it almost prevents the Lysells and the Patras from getting back to the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously some bumps and bruises to figuring it out, but I don't know. I'm the kind of sports fan who I enjoy watching teams figure it out. I love to kind of have a player where you grow with that player, you anticipate, maybe great things from them, starting from a time where maybe people were not so high on them. Shifting gears quickly here is I saw another thing that you contributed to was the Mass Live Bruins quarter century team. And I saw, some of the names were obviously very predictable that you'd have a lot of 2011 players on there because, that era really, obviously you won a cup, that resonates, but that team stayed together for the most part for a bunch of years, with the exception of, say, Johnny Boychuk. But were there any particular names that you really stumped for, that you really wanted to see on that list of 25, and did they wind up making it or not?
I had a few people that didn't make it, which it's so hard. You're going through a quarter century of people. Mike Newble was on my list, and Glenn Murray was also on my team. Those were the two that didn't make it. I think those were the only two who didn't make it that I voted for forwards. So,
members of the 700-pound line.
You need that hefty line there.
Yep.
But no, it was hard because you go back. These are going back 25 years. These are players that I all watched growing up. And then you think about, obviously, you're going to have the obvious ones, the Bergerons, the Krejcis, David Pastrnak. You're going to have those. But then you do think of the people like you look at, Joe Thornton played here in the last quarter century. You had important people like Daniel Pyatt, Gregory Campbell, Sean Thornton, Nathan Horton. You had all these people that you're like, they were part of really important teams. You look at the 2011 Cup team, and then you look at the defense, and it's like, there's the Adam McQuaids, the Dennis Seidenbergs that were also played a huge part. So it was hard to put together. Like the two top lines, I was like, this is easy. I'm going to breeze through this. And then you get to the bottom 6, and you're like, wait, there's a lot of players here that could make it, that should make it, and that won't make it.
Yeah, I was always a big Firefly Andrew Ferentz guy myself. But,
yes, yes.
But yeah, it's just fun going through, and a fact that they were talking about, or I think a caller had during the previous show, the Bruins have among the Boston major sports teams, they have the second highest winning percentage out of those four over those 25 years, and that includes some down years before Claude Julien and a bunch of young Bruins kind of got that run going. So kind of cool to revisit, kind of cool to just look at it and say, oh, yeah, Joe Thornton used to mean a lot to us, and guys like
and then he got
Glenn
traded
Murray.
for Marco Sturm.
Yeah, right. Right, which I've held against Marco Sturm for really no reason for 20 plus years at this point. I think I can get over it now. Speaking of things to get over, should I get over the fact that the NHL Winter Classic is being contested in Miami this evening?
I mean, no. I think that the part of the Winter Classic, the fun of it, the lure of it, is playing in a state or in an area where it's cold, it snows, and it feels like winter. Yeah. Obviously, I get you want to play everywhere. You want to see if it works, but I just feel like when I hear the Winter Classic, I'm thinking of New England. I'm thinking of anywhere but Florida. I hope it works out. I've seen some pictures of the ice. It looks a little iffy, but maybe this is going to be something they'll try it. They'll have the Stadium Series in February with the Bruins as well, and maybe they'll be like, maybe Florida just isn't for outdoor hockey, which that's fine if it's not. But let's get it back to cold weather. It's like the Super Bowl when they tried to play it in cold weather in February. It's like it almost makes sense to be played in a dome somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you gotta try to find out. So I guess this is what they're doing here. I get the novelty of it, but to me, it was when you had one Winter Classic and it was New Year's, and everybody could kind of get behind that. And yeah, you had some Original Six hosts, even when it wasn't Original Six team. It felt like winter. It felt like you're kind of huddled around the fire. You got that game on. But yeah, we'll tune in. We'll see. One last thing before I let you go. I know you cover the Sox too, and you work on the Sox podcast that I do over at Mass Live as well. If you could come up with a best case scenario for the Sox, whether it's Alex Bregman coming back, Bo Bichette, some combination of the two, neither, and maybe like secret option C. What would you like to see out of the Boston Red Sox as they finish their winter up?
Yeah, at this point, I think it's re-sign Bregman. I think that needs to be a priority. And then a number two starter like a Joe Ryan. I know his name's been thrown out a lot. I know that they were connected to him at the trade deadline. Yeah. But I just think somebody like a solid number two starter. If you want my pipe dream, it's re-sign Alex Bregman and trade for Tarek Skubal. But that's nice. The pipe dream.
Yeah.
that's the pipe dream. But Joe Ryan, a solid number two starter. It doesn't even have to be Joe Ryan. It can be a solidified number two starter, and then you need to bring Bregman back for that offensive pop in the lineup that they were missing when he got injured last year. Then when Rowan Anthony got injured last year, so I think that's a big priority for them.
So Sonny Gray, not enough.
Not enough. He's fine. He's fine in the rotation, but he's not enough.
Not a number two. Well, we'll see. I keep saying that the Red Sox have time, but maybe some things will start happening soon here. I know our own Matt McCarthy was speculating that we might see some movement on Bregman and Bichette. Maybe the two of those moves intertwined as people swoop in and pick up some free agents maybe in the next week or so. But Lauren, thank you for spending the time. I wish you continued ascent to good health in 2026 here, and I'm so glad that you I believe it was Jay-Z who said you could have been anywhere in the world. I'll paraphrase it, but you were here with us on a Friday night on Boston radio, so I appreciate your time.
Nowhere else I'd rather be. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Lauren. Take it easy.
You too.
All right, Lauren Campbell of Mass Live Sports. She's the trending Boston sports writer over there. And again, as someone who has attempted to be a sports blogger, editor, contributor to even our own 98.5thesportshub.com, to produce the kind of content that Lauren does with the frequency that she does, always very impressive. So appreciate having her on. Friend of the program, I would call it. 617-779-0985. You want to jump on with me. You could also keep it going on the YouTube. Joe, I love checking out this YouTube here. It really is like the last bastion of the chat room, the internet chat room. There's people on here who are just talking away, having a great conversation with each other. I don't really use YouTube for that. I usually use it to watch like memes that were hot like 17 or 18 years ago, like Keyboard Cat or something like that. But this is great, and it's not new. I mean, I've come in here and I've seen it before. I used to see the Twitch chat, but I feel like people just spend so much time yelling at each other online these days that just seeing some good sports talk in a YouTube chat makes me a little warm and fuzzy. 617-779-0985. We'll hit some headlines. We'll get some wonderful sponsors on here as well, and then we'll have more sports talk coming up. Sean Sylver here till 10.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, we talked about the Boston Bruins. They are off tonight, but they got 2 games left? They got 2 games left. On their West Coast, Western Canada swing, they'll be in Vancouver tomorrow night. That'll be a late one, but I can guarantee that you can hear it here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. As well, some more Bruins news that the Olympic hockey rosters were announced. And guess what? Got some black and gold players who are going to be representing Team USA. Jeremy Swayman, Charlie McAvoy. Also, Elias Lindholm will be on Team Sweden. The NHL Winter Classic tonight, pitting the Panthers and the Rangers in Miami, of all places. That's starting up in about 20 minutes. Celtics news, Joe Mazzulla, the Eastern Conference Coach of the Month. Seas will wrap up their road trip tomorrow night against the Clippers. You can hear that over on our sister station, WROR, here in Boston. And for the Pats, they're going to be hosting the Dolphins at Gillette on Sunday. Number of names getting healthy. Kayshon Boutte, he's cleared concussion protocol. Milton Williams had his first full practice since returning from his ankle injury. Head coach Mike Vrabel said that both Williams and Will Campbell should go as well, the Wills. And Robert Spillane back at practice, but he is not expected to play in this upcoming game. Devon Achane doubtful for Miami. Your Sports Up headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Sean Sylver, Boston Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Up. Next update, 8 o'clock.
Tune into Felger and Maz every Monday afternoon all football season long for their Miller Lite moment of the game. Miller Lite, celebrating 50 years of Miller time and making the game your tailgate or game day party legendary. Legendary stories start with a light.
What's up, everybody? It's Adam and my boy Lou from Central 44 Jeep Dodge Ram and Raynham. The holidays are here and the season's heating up. During our wrap-up-the-year sales event, we're delivering a holiday deal that's an absolute touchdown. Right now, get a 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Altitude for $279 a month for 42 months with $39.95 down, 7,500 miles per year. Wrap, ready, and perfect for those holiday road trips. Central 44 is minutes from anywhere. So whether you're heading to Foxborough, Boston, or dashing around to holiday events with the kids, make sure to stop by. Tell them, Lou.
Central 44 Jeep Dodge Ram and Raynham, from our driveway to yours.
Route 1 Grill House in Saugus is the place to be. With a 70-person function room and relaxed outdoor dining, it's perfect for any occasion. The best part? The food is irresistible. Baby back ribs, steak tips, seafood, pizza, you name it, they got it. Plus, this football season, enjoy 50-cent wings, and they got the Sunday ticket for every game on Sunday. They also have an extensive martini list and a large selection of draft beer. What more could you want? Located just before Sullivan Tire on Route 1 South, this family spot is one of a kind, so don't get it confused with any other restaurant. Make Route 1 Grill House your next dining destination and tell the Floramo brothers that Joe Murray sent you.
Hey, it's Patrice Bergeron. Every great play starts with an assist. That's why Avidia Bank and I are taking Assist for Kids beyond the rink. For every Boston assist, Avidia Bank donates $75 up to $30,000 to provide $150 max saving accounts for local kids. And Franklin Sports is donating $7,000 in street hockey equipment, giving us $37,000 to help kids get out and play. Because every kid deserves the chance to play and fall in love with the game, just like I did. I'm proud to team with Avidia Bank and Franklin Sports for Assist for Kids. Learn more at avidiabank.com/Team Bergeron. Avidia Bank, honest to goodness. Member of the IC, member DIF.
When
When you see a Gravely mowing the grass, you're looking at over 100 years of ingenuity in action. You're seeing a rugged, durable machine professional lawn service companies have relied on for generations. Or maybe you see a homeowner who demands the best, cutting their own lawn like the pros, whether mowing or on a trailer between jobs. When you see a Gravely, you're seeing greatness at work. Take your lawn mowing up a notch with a Gravely. See the full line at your local dealer.
Hey, it's Dan Andelman from the Phantom Gourmet. Most of you know what my show was all about. Eating. We find the best restaurants in New England and we tell you all about them. So did I put my life and my show on hold to lose weight with Awaken 180? No. Here's how it went. 6 pounds down my first week, 25 pounds by the end of the first month, and in just over 2 months, I hit my goal, 50 pounds gone by the time I turned 50. And let me tell you, those results, they came while I was still tasting every food under the sun. Everything from ribeyes to sushi. I didn't skip a beat. And that's the beauty of Awaken 180. It fits into your life. I mean, my whole life revolves around food and it still worked for me. And that's what sets Awaken 180 apart. I didn't want to take the meds. I already knew the gym wasn't the answer, so I let the experts do it for me, and my results are proof that it works. This new year, make it work for you and choose the solution for weight loss online at awaken180weightloss.com.
For home comfort, trust Dry Air Systems, an elite Mitsubishi electric diamond contractor. They install Mitsubishi electric heat pumps with instant mass save rebates. Visit DAS4HVAC.com or call 978-462-3800. Family owned and operated since 1989. Need a new roof for your home or business? Call East Coast Metal Roofing, lifetime guaranteed roofs, and get 10% off during their New Year savings event. Call 844-611-ECMR or visit eastcoastmetalroofing.com.
Solak and Bertrand get you through the midday. Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the Sports Hub.
Darkness. I'm not talking about what's outside right now.
That was my first experience with The Darkness, actually, and I think I thoroughly enjoyed that song.
Okay. I could recommend some others. Growing on Me was a fave. They put out just an insane, like, kind of retro rock, like glam rock album in 2003 called Permission to Land. The big hit was I Believe in a Thing Called Love. I don't know if this resonates with you at all. That was a song.
I heard that last song. It sounds familiar to me.
I believe in a thing called love.
Yep, I got that one.
That guy,
yeah, someone in the chat was like, "That's their favorite song."
There we go. Benjamin. Benjamin's optimistic about everything tonight. He said I'm an amazing host. He might be my favorite, Benjamin. Sean Sylver here on a Friday night. I love the realm of activities that they describe in that song. That he's archery and badminton. I just watched with my kids the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie.
I've seen that. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. No, that was the first time I'd seen that. The author of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Jeff Kinney, actually has a bookstore in Plainville, Massachusetts, which is near where I live. It's a great bookstore. So it was the first time watching the movie, and it was just kind of funny watching the kids, like, they had the activity board, all the stuff you could sign up for. Always a treat to see what you can get up to there. What kind of clubs and awards you're trying to win to impress people as a high schooler or a middle schooler. When in the wash, it really doesn't matter all that much. 617-779-0985 for your reviews of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie or your takes on sports. Hey, YouTube chat, pilot me in a specific direction. I'm having a hard time getting my bearings here. You know what I liked is the guy who showed up and said, where was it here? He's like, I just drank a beer and it feels like a Monday, so I think it's Monday or something like that. It made me think of an old story where I used to be an on-air at 91.5 WMFO in Medford, Massachusetts. And my friend had a show, and it was on Saturday night. And this guy used to call every Saturday night. He would call in, check in. Butch from Malden. He had a wife named Jean. And Butch from Malden would always call, likely inebriated. But one time he called. My friend the Brick goes, "Oh, hey, Butch, how are you doing this Saturday night?" And he just goes, "I thought it was Friday." Butch called every Saturday night. He must have marked his calendar or something to remind him to call every Saturday night. And yet, for some reason, this particular Saturday, Butch thought it was Friday. He was that in the tank. We're not going to go there tonight. I don't know if the YouTube chat is going to go there. I have no control over that. But on the airwaves, we are PED free, performance enhancing and performance destroying substances. Neither will be consumed. We'll see if the chicken fingers that I brought in will either help or hinder. There's no more chocolate out there in the kitchen.
There's no more chocolate, but as I said last time, the candy bowl is full. I know your friend raised some concerns about the sickness going around, but you sound better, so maybe you might have to risk it.
Well, I mean, I'm on the recovery, right? So I've got all the good germs are in me right now, fighting off the bad germs that were there earlier this week. So I would say that I'm in a really good place to confront some shady candy that maybe other people have put their paws on. I don't know. I might need a boost. I might need some help out there. Not sure. A lot of you listening probably generally think that I need some help anyways, but so it goes.
What are you going to watch tomorrow, Sean, would you say? We got a lot of sports tomorrow, as the chat pointed out. And we got Bruins, Celtics, some NFL. What's on, even some good college basketball? What do you think you'll be watching tomorrow?
Oh man, that's a great question. Don't we have one remaining bowl game, or is that going on right now? I actually should be looking that up.
Tomorrow we got Panthers Bucks. I believe that's for the division.
There we go.
Could be wrong. And then we got Seahawks Niners, which I believe is for the 1 seed. Again, I could be wrong on those things.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah, so it looks like we got 2 quote-unquote playoff games tomorrow.
So the bowl I was thinking about, like anybody cares, the bowl I was thinking about was Navy against Cincinnati right now in the Liberty Bowl. Navy with a 35-13 lead right now. They're looking to close that one out. We also got Arizona and SMU coming up in the Holiday Bowl, and Wake Forest and Mississippi State in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. All of those things will be happening this evening. But as for tomorrow, I mean, just as an interested observer, how could you not like that Seattle-San Francisco matchup where it's like, the winner takes it all, right? And I mean, I just talk about a referendum on Sam Darnold, right? Just the opportunity for him to cash in with the Seattle team, which I think has done leaps and bounds above what people expected. Jackson Smith and Jigba. I said Smith because I was preparing myself for the pronunciation there and totally botched it. But he's taken that step up into the pantheon of elite wideouts. I would think that San Francisco has what it takes to take this. They're more battle-tested, I think, overall. But, who knows? Maybe Sam Darnold pulls a rabbit out the hat. We will see. But there's a lot of wild scenarios here. I mean, the Patriots could go as high as number 1 here with a Broncos loss and a Jaguars loss. Denver has what they're saying. The Athletic says they have an 80% chance to earn the top seed. They either need a win, and they're in, or losses from both the Pats and the Jaguars. And then the other teams need some help. Now, Denver playing the resting Chargers makes that particularly interesting there because, 1, Denver should whoop the Chargers, and 2, the Chargers resting Justin Herbert and others. Amari and Hampton reportedly going to be out as well. Maybe they're playing the Patriots next weekend, and we'll see what sort of state those guys are in. But yeah, I think San Francisco, Seattle's going to be a good watch. Some the crap division matchup between the Bucks and Panthers. I don't know. I guess that could get messy and maybe a little bit of fun. I'm going to be very busy this weekend with a couple of things in particular. We've got some youth soccer. And we've got some youth basketball going as well, and a birthday party for my 5-year-old daughter. So
that sounds like a pretty good weekend to me.
Yeah, it's going to be real wild.
I missed the youth soccer days.
Yeah,
I played youth soccer, and
I was going to say, Joe, what were your sports?
Basketball was my main sport. And then, so growing up, it was mainly basketball, and I played soccer for a while.
Okay.
But soccer is where I got most of my friends, and high school I played baseball, first base. Typical big guy playing first base.
Yep.
Could hit for power, couldn't hit for average. And then basketball was a shooter. But I didn't play high school basketball, just high school baseball.
Okay, that's good.
What about you, Sean?
Those are good choices. You mentioned, your deficiencies as a baseball player, which is, very honest of you, but I had all of the deficiencies as a baseball player. I not a particularly accurate arm, slow bat, no, there was nothing. I wanted so bad to be a good baseball player, and it was not happening. I was, just this big gangly kid. So I made sense as a basketball player, just stick me, in the paint and get rebounds. But I tell my son, these things sometimes because he's just like, Dad, how big am I going to get? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, well, am I going to grow up to be like big and strong? And I was like, you might be skinny. When I was a freshman in high school, I was something like 6'1", like 140 pounds, like just...
You sound like Tom Brady reading his scouting report. Have you seen that on NFL Network? Like, lacks strong arm, lacks mobility, can evade the rush.
Yeah,
but he just has a heart of a champion.
The heart of a champion. I don't know. I certainly didn't have that, nor Tom Brady's level of heart or grit. But no, I wound up being. I played all the sports as a kid, with varying degrees of success. I wound up being a decent enough, high school basketball player to be able to start in a high school team. And tennis, though, was my thing. Because again, just big gangly kid. I could serve and volley and do that. I had a lot of flaws as a tennis player, but I was a pretty good doubles player, just like playing to my strengths. So yeah, that was about it. Tennis, and basketball. I wanted to walk on for tennis in college, I remember, and going to a couple of practices and being like, maybe I could do this. This would be fun. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to a tournament in Connecticut this weekend. And I'm just like, it's preseason. Why are we going to a tournament? What's that for? It's like, I want to be on campus and, get some of this college thing going here. So I didn't go to the tournament. And, few practices freshman year was the end of my Stono College tennis walk-on attempt. Yes, I drank some blueberry vodka and was... We won't blame the blueberry vodka for my downfall as a person, but so it is. I see a call on the line. So we're talking sports. It's actually kind of... Why am I laughing so hard? It's actually kind of funny to me that we're talking sports, but not specifically Boston sports. We're talking high school sports right now. We have also hit on music. I've got Street Team Joe's dad on the line right now in the beautiful town of Westboro, Massachusetts. Paul, how are you this evening?
Hey, Sean, good talking to you. Happy Friday and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Paul.
Am I hearing right that one of your favorite shows was Van Halen?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's probably my all-time favorite band is Van Halen.
Which tour, may I ask, if I'm guessing your age now?
Well, yeah, based on my age, being 42, 43 right here, I did not go to a Van Halen show until the 2004 reunion. 98 when they had Gary Sharon, I would have been 15.
Yep.
So that was, I guess I could have gone to that, but I was a little young, and obviously the Balance Tour in 95, I was 12, 13. So 04 was the first one I saw of Van Halen, obviously past their prime, certainly.
And how do you feel about the whole Sammy Hagar, changeover? I thought, two different bands.
Yep.
But I'm an old school Van Halen guy. I saw the Van Halen 2 tour and nice. I think it was 79 or 80.
Where at?
I'm showing my age now.
What venue?
Providence Civic Center.
Nice.
And but I was. It took me a while to come on board to the Sammy side of things, but as I've gotten older, a lot more appreciation for the Red Rocker and a different band, but dare I say, as good as the David Lee Roth days.
You know, and I think you hit the nail on the head, Paul. You got to appreciate them as two different bands. And, you know, I like, oh, man, I'm trying to think of, like, my favorite Roth era album. It's not, a lot of people would just go to 1984 because all the hits, right? Or maybe Van Halen 1. I love Diver Down. I think that it's just so, you got the covers on there. It's just kind of wild. That was an album that, you know, apparently really, you know, kind of fractured the band. They had a lot of disagreement about that album, right? I love Fair Warning. But, you know,
that's rock and roll, though. That's right. That's there's you know, back in those days, rock and roll meant controversy.
There you go. And controversy creates cash, as Eric Bischoff once told us. But yeah, I love the Sam era too, for sure. I love them both equally. Yeah,
I was also fortunate enough to have seen the Back in Black tour in 1980 when AC/DC. Talk about another band that changed lead singers. You know, two different bands, but. And they're still rocking. They're still putting out music and playing in big venues, and people still going to listen. And you know, Brian Johnson doing his thing, and
you got to do it. Got to do it while we still can with some of these bands. Paul, before you go, I'm going to hit you with a very specific question here. Where are you on the idea of, say, and I saw them during the Thanksgiving Day parade, because of course I'm watching that with my young kids, right? The band Foreigner shows up, and I like Foreigner and their classic rock catalog.
I was a huge Foreigner fan back in the day.
But the band Foreigner that showed up,
games and all,
totally. Come on now, like so good, so good. I've seen Foreigner several times in their more
vision. Oh, fabulous!
You know, I haven't seen them with Lou Gramm. I've seen them with Kelly Hansen, and you know they had most of the members. But this is my specific question. The Thanksgiving Day parade version of Foreigner has 0 members of the original band.
Yeah.
Where do you land on bands that continue to tour under a name, almost as a brand, even if none of the members are still in the band?
I'm a big thumbs down. I would say, you know, for folks that can go out and still appreciate the music, I'm not going to hold that against anybody. For the band to go out and call themselves Foreigner, you know, any band, especially once you lose the lead singer, I think the lead singer carries a little bit of extra ganache, and that if everybody else was gone and your lead singer is still there, you sound like the band and you're kind of okay. But you swap out a lead singer, and then next thing you know, you're swapping out everybody else. You know, call yourselves like the music of Foreigner, but not the band, because some folks are going to show up and leave a little disappointed in my mind.
Yeah, no, it's tough because you want to be able to experience the music, right? But it's, I don't know, we grew up in it. Well, I say we're obviously from slightly different eras, right? But we grew up in an era where musicians were heroes, right? And so to have somebody who's producing the music, but your heroes aren't actually the ones doing it, it kind of makes it a cover band. But I guess Lou Gramm's okay with it, so there we go. But hey,
I will leave you. I'll leave you with one band or one name to start to follow.
Yeah,
I don't know what you listen to for music at all. What's your typical genre?
I like a lot of classic rock, and you know, I mainly don't go much past stuff that was produced in the 1990s. So,
So.
You're saying Should I listen to
No.
Great tune.
Also a good band. There's a woman named Alice Merton.
Okay.
And she's had a couple of pop songs, you know, No Roots and things like that nature. She's playing in front of 60,000 people in London, and playing in front of 900 people when she comes here to the States. And she's got another album that's supposed to come out next year. So keep an eye out on Alice Merton to hit the airwaves and start to make her name for herself in the States.
There we go. I like that. Paul, thanks for the suggestion. I just put it in my phone reminders because, of course, I'll forget it. Appreciate you calling in. Nice talking with you.
Hey, great talking to you. Have a great weekend.
Hey, you too. There we go. Paul in Westboro. Street Team Joe's dad. Talking music. And see, this is the kind of stuff that gives an individual like young Joe, and obviously I'm playing up and exploiting the 13-year age difference between me and my producer this evening because we grew up in different eras. I think it makes for some interesting perspectives, right? Particularly when it comes to music and culture and even sports. Like his frame of reference is a lot different from mine on some sports. I grew up in the angsty Boston sports 90s when nothing was really right. So it's cool to talk music with anyone. If you want to do that, you can certainly call in. But of course, this is a sports show, so we'll get to some Patriots, some Celtics. Got some stuff in the chat here as well that I want to get to as well. Appreciate everybody who's out there listening and contributing to this program. We'll keep it going. We'll hit some headlines. Wow, it's 8:05. I'm late. Whatever. It's a Friday night. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to start strong. With best-in-class strength and cardio equipment, you can give everything you've got. Save $28 or more when you join today for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 9th. See Club for details.
From advanced technology and safety to improved comfort and performance, buying a new Jeep Wrangler or Jeep Grand Cherokee is an investment in reliability, capability, and style. And now during the year-end sales event at McGovern Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Boston, Newton, and Acton, you can save big on the Jeep you've been wanting. Get the Jeep Wrangler for better off-road adventures, or the Jeep Grand Cherokee with a spacious interior, comfortable seating, and ample cargo space. Shop now for an amazing deal on a new Jeep at McGovernCJDRDealers.com. That's McGovernCJDRDealers.com.
Drains by James is Eastern Mass's leader in drain cleaning and pipelining. And by now, you know they give a poop about your pipes. Drains by James wants you to know what else they give a poop about. Fast, clean, trustworthy service of your clogged pipes, drains, sinks, toilets, showers, you name it. Drains by James gives a poop about you, the customer. They're not electricians, not HVAC guys. They do drains. So go with them if you have a clog. You may not need them today, but when you do, Drains by James. We give a poop about your pipes.
At M&T Bank, we're continuously working to provide value to our customers, like Paul, Vice President of Sullivan Tire.
We are so happy with the relationship with M&T. Whether it's treasury services or working line of credit or providing loans for our growth, it's been nothing but collaboration that works for both parties.
See what M&T Bank can do for you at mtb.com/together. Member FDIC.
Too many veterans in Massachusetts are living without the dental care they deserve, jeopardizing their oral health and overall health. Hi, I'm Boston forward Sam Hauser, and that's why I've joined the Delta Dental of Massachusetts for Veterans Assists. This season, with every assist on the court, Delta Dental donates $25 up to $50,000 to the Tufts School of Dental Medicine's Cares for Veterans program. Together, we're opening doors to critical oral health care for veterans experiencing housing challenges. They've served us, now it's our turn to serve them. Learn more at 985thesportshub.com/veterans.
This is Michael Toe, owner of the senior pro pickleball team, the Boston Dragons. When I first heard Dr. Franke of Boston Prolotherapy talk about regenerative medicine, it grabbed my attention. I've seen so many people, and felt it myself, dealing with painful knees, shoulders, hips, and backs. Nobody wants surgery or the downtime that comes with it. As a senior pro pickleball player, I know how common these injuries are, especially for players over 50. That's why I turned to Boston Prolotherapy. Dr. Franke helps athletes and everyday people heal painful joints naturally with non-surgical treatments that work. So when it came time to find the title sponsor for the Boston Dragons, the choice was easy. Our entire pickleball community can benefit from Dr. Franke's expertise and commitment to keeping players healthy and active. If you want to heal your joints without surgery, do what we did and choose Boston Prolotherapy. Online at bostonprolotherapy.com or call 833-GO-PROLO. That's 833-GO-PROLO.
Celtics fans, La Playa awaits. You could win a flyaway trip to see the Boston Celtics in Miami. Just look for the Corona La Playa awaits display at participating locations and scan the QR code to enter. Must be 21 plus. Rules and restrictions apply. Corona, the official cerveza of the Boston Celtics.
Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
The last hour on the Sports Hub brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people.
From the Telfair Tire Studios, WBZ-FM and HD1. It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Hey, we got live sports this evening. Let's go through some College Bowl finals from earlier today. In the Armed Forces Bowl, Texas State all over Rice, 41-10. In the Liberty Bowl, Navy defeats Cincinnati 35-13. Right now, we're doing it live. SMU and Arizona in the Holiday Bowl. The Mustangs up 7-0 in that one. Wake Forest will take on Mississippi State in the nightcap. That would be the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Always good to have those as well. Winter Classic on tonight as well. A bunch of other NHL games, but the one that everybody wants to watch is the Panthers playing the Rangers in Miami, so we'll see how that goes. Bruins off. They play Vancouver tomorrow night. Olympic rosters announced. Jeremy Swayman, Charlie McAvoy representing Team USA. For the Boston Celtics, Joe Mazzulla is your Eastern Conference Coach of the Month. And the New England Patriots getting ready to play the Dolphins on Sunday at Gillette. Keyshawn Booty will be back. Milton Williams and Will Campbell indicated that they will as well, per Mike Vrabel. Robert Spillane back in practice. He's not expected to go. Your Sports Up headlines brought to you by DN Van Lines. Take the chance out of your move and make sure to bet with DN Van Lines, an approved mover, Department of Defense. I'm Sean Sylver, Boston Over Sports 98.5 Sports Up. Next update 8:30.
Around here, we call them the Joe Murray Pre-Party. It's Felger and Maz afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
.98.5 The Sports Hub, hour number 3 of the Joe Show with no Joe. Well, kind of. I mean, not the Joe that you know, but the Joe that you gotta know, and that would be Street Team Joe. He is here with me, Sean Sylver. You are presumably on your couch, in your car, or somewhere else where you have access to a radio or stream, maybe even on YouTube here, as we get wild for the night here on the Sports Hub going until 10 o'clock. We have talked some sports. We have talked some music. We have talked some Patriots. We have talked some Celtics. We talked some Bruins with Lauren Campbell from Mass Live Sports earlier. We talked some bowl games. We got some going on right now. We got a Winter Classic this evening. We've got Hall of Fame ballots for multiple sports. We got a whole ton of topics that we could hit on. But right now, I think hearing from you might be my top priority at 617-779-0985. Folks with a lot of opinions about what's going down on the football slate this weekend, and we'll get to that. But right now, we got Gary. Gary is Joe's uncle. He wants to talk Celtics. I love it. It's a family thing. Gary, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Sean.
You got it. What's on your mind about the Celtics tonight?
Hey, I'm really excited about the Celtics. Always have been, diehard fan. For season ticket holder for 48 years or so. Got
48 for
years? Yep.
Wow.
Tickets before, year before Larry Bird came. But I might be a bit huge Celtic fan, but I think Joe here is maybe a bigger fan than me.
Well, Joe and I have bonded instantly over the fact that we're big NBA guys. So, and he's proving his mettle thus far in our conversations. Pretty soon he'll have my job, Gary.
He's doing great. We are really proud of him.
Yeah, as you should be.
Whole family is.
Hey, Gary, what are you looking for the Celtics here? They got about I think 20 games left until the All-Star break, and they've been kind of on a tear lately through December. Do you expect it to keep up, or do you expect that there might be some letdown with this group as the season starts to drag along?
I think they have outperformed everybody's expectations. And the question I really want to pose to you guys is about Tatum and whether you think he should come back. And if he does come back, how's he he and Brown going to relate now that Brown has kind of taken over the mantle, at least for this year?
I think it's a great question, Gary, and I'm going to let your nephew answer that one first. So thanks for the call. Appreciate you checking in on this Friday night.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Yeah, my Gary and my auntie Sharon spoil me with Celtics tickets, endless amounts of Celtics tickets. So,
that's a great
I love
connection.
them regardless.
Can I be part of the family?
I love them regardless, but the tickets definitely help. Yeah,
sure.
So what he was saying, I want Tatum to come back. Yeah. I think, especially in the East, we have a chance to go to the finals, Sean. I know we talked about this the other day. No one particularly in the East scares me, especially not those New York Knicks. So I think if Tatum comes back, we have a chance to go to the finals. What Gary was talking about, that dynamic is certainly interesting, as we pointed out, because Brown, he's developed into a playmaker. He's averaging, I think he's averaged more points than Tatum has ever averaged. That is definitely going to be an interesting dynamic. I think, at least for this year, I think Tatum would be okay deferring when he comes back post-injury, at least to start until he gets, up and running. Mm-hmm. But that is something I'm definitely worried about. I know they can play together, but, Brown has said he's wanted a bigger role and he's sacrificed a lot, and it's going to be interesting when he comes back.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that Eastern Conference and you definitely say you want it, right? It's just like, oh man, it's really here for the taking this year. It's the fraud Knicks and the Pistons who are hard. And I went to the Pistons Celtics game. What was that? Back on the 15th of December, so just a few weeks ago now. And, the Pistons, they kind of laid in wait, and then the fourth quarter they took over and they chopped down the Celtics on their home floor. So, 7-game series, how would that go? Jason Tatum's involvement, how would that go? I think really we just got to look at, you're kind of playing with house money here, right? Because you weren't expecting this season to be anything other than a learning experience, and those are valuable. And I think you're having that learning experience. The main learning experience that I like that we're having right here is the fact that you got 45 points from the bench last night or something like that. Sam Hauser actually, played well, had 15 points on 5 of 7 shooting for deep. And, you put that together. I think the Celtics they've got a really good record when they get 35-plus points from the bench. I was seeing Dick Leip on NBC Sports Boston, the master statistician out there. I love reading just his tidbits of wisdom about the team because it gives me something to talk about, but it's also really interesting. When that bench contributes, the Celtics go. And that's been the real learning thing this year. Is all right, we're figuring out what our new rotation is after it was so decimated. We're figuring out what spots 6, 7, and 8 in coming years potentially could or should be. And there's just a ton of value in that. I was talking to my own dad coming in, and I think I've mentioned this to about 1 million different people, as I always mine my dad for content. But he was like, Tatum, he's not, because my buddy Pat and my buddy Patrick, hey, we're in Boston, of course, they pulled off a deal in our fantasy hoops league, which my dad is in, and my cousins, and it's it's a whole thing. And Tatum got traded. And my dad goes, why would he do that? Tatum's not coming back this year. And I was like, no, Dad, he is, or at least he's supposed to be. And he's like, well, you've got Halliburton on your bench. He's not coming back. I was like, yeah, but, they're two different cases. So, you're really operating from a perspective here where a lot of people, either they're uninformed or they just don't expect a lot out of this Jason Tatum comeback or don't believe that it's actually going to happen. So if it does happen, obviously that increases your chances because he's a talented as heck basketball player, but you have to play it carefully. And I think that the best way for him to be, and I think that this is kind of always the way when you have a guy coming off an injury where you don't want to mess up their career, they come back and, as you said, they defer. This has been Jaylen Brown's team this year, and I know that's a different dynamic, but it would be smart. And Jason Tatum is a heady individual. He's no dummy. He's an intelligent basketball player. He's an intelligent human and businessman because his brand is a business. It's in his best interest, I think, to defer and keep himself healthy. And, then you go from there and you figure out how it's going to work going forward over the offseason, right? This team has shown the ability to make adjustments from season to season, And you kind of see how it goes this spring, see how it works out, and then you pick it up and go for it next year. I don't expect this team necessarily to make the finals. I think it would be great to have some sort of wild ride, but I just don't think that you can count on Jason Tatum to be himself. The telling thing will be if he has the ability to just kind of, take that back seat. And I think that shows maturity, understanding, and, maybe a real sense. Like, I was watching, I was on the Roku, the, what do you call it, on my streamer, right? And they have a bunch of free channels. And they have an NBA channel. And, like, Quentin Richardson was on with, an analyst. And my son's like, what's this show? And I was like, well, that's Quentin Richardson. He used to play for the Clippers. And he's like, oh, well, what's he talking about? Well, they were talking about Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And it's really in the best interest of them to do, what's smart here and not spoil it. You gotta think about the future. It would be really dumb for the Celtics to do something here that's going to get you into trouble.
Seems they're a trade away from a big man too, wouldn't you say? Like, they're not just Tatum coming back away from a finals run. Yeah. You where do you land on that? Do you make that trade this year, or do you reconsider it in the offseason? I think I would reconsider it in the offseason. Kind of like what you said, it's a lot to. I don't know if you should be willing to go all in this year. I'm not too familiar with the second apron, and would that reset if you went over it at the deadline? Right, because you have to. Yeah, that's right. I remember reading all about that in the summer. Yeah, because I think if they don't go over the second apron this year, they get 1 year clear of it. Mm-hmm. But if they do make a trade that puts them back over, then they already get the second tax penalties, and then they'd have to reset again. And I don't know what Simons is getting you at this point. You're probably gonna have to throw in some first round picks. I'm with you. I'd kind of see where you end up at the end of the year, and then see if there's a bigger name out there that you can go all in for. Yeah, that's going to be tough. I wondered sometimes, it seems like Bill Chisholm has been visible and, into this run here. I mean, that's great. I was seeing some online conversation today about the revs with the deal in Everett. I think it was John Corrales who was posting about it, though I could be wrong, and I don't want to misattribute anything, but obviously Corrales is great. I talk about his work all the time. Big fan. But somebody was talking about how who was it, Corrales? I got to get it right here. But either way, the point online was that Everett site was what one envisioned could be a Celtics specific arena site in the future, because forever, as long as this team has been in existence, they have been tenants, of the previous regime that owned the Boston Garden, and the Jacobses since 75 or whenever they bought it. And that is just not where you max out your profit as a governor of, that's your team is your stake. You're an owner of that team, right? So you're trying to profit from it. And if Chisholm was thinking that maybe, there might be an opportunity to build a new Celtics stadium in Boston, it's going to be awfully hard to identify another site in the city where that could go. So you kind of wonder, how is he? And he must have been aware that, Kraft was close in a deal with Everett and things like that. This didn't come out of the blue, or at least it shouldn't have. But you got to wonder going forward if the Celtics are going to be careful from a budget perspective, knowing that they're never going to be able to build their own stadium, or at least it looks highly unlikely right now. So I don't know if you think that maybe the new ownership might be popping into play here, or I mean, they definitely had to get back under that second apron at the very least for basketball reasons, right? Yeah, it doesn't look like. I don't think any team currently is over the second apron. So I don't think it's when people are like, "Oh, let's see if the Celtics are going to spend this year." There's not any team that's doing that. The penalties are too harsh. You can't call the Celtics cheap if everybody else is cheaping out too. That just makes it the norm, right? So, all right. Anyways, nice talking C's here
with Joe's family and you. 617-779-0985. We got an hour and a half of this left. We'd love you to join the program. I'm on Twitter, if you still call it that. I guess X now. It's been for 3 years, right? At the Silver Fox, Silver with a Y. Take a short break. We'll get back and we'll go in some direction that I'm sure will be mesmerizing next on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Want the lowest price on name brand tires? Town Fair Tire beats all the competition. We beat the wholesale clubs. We beat online prices. We beat all local tire dealers. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to start strong. With best-in-class strength and cardio equipment, you can give everything you've got. Save $28 or more when you join today for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 9th. See Club for details.
Hey New England, Drake May here. I'm always striving for greatness on the field, but greatness doesn't wait. It gets up, shows up, and moves forward. It takes hard work, ingenuity, and progress to achieve it. That's exactly what Chevy had in mind with the Chevy Silverado. Built bold, built for what's next. It has it all. Power, versatility, tech, comfort, the sky's the limit. Everything a great quarterback is looking for on the road. Because I know the Silverado is striving for that greatness just like me. Get to your local New England Chevy dealer today and check it out. The Chevy Silverado. Built to lead, built for greatness.
Looking for a new twig? Check out the stick seller at Sports Etc. in Arlington and shoot the latest sticks from Bauer like the Proto 2, Pulse, Tracer, and Flylight. Sports Etc. has hundreds of sticks in stock to choose from. Or use the Bauer Stick Customizer exclusive to Sports Etc. and build your own stick, including the flex, blade pattern, and color, and delivered in 5 days. Get your next Bauer stick at Sports Etc., Boston's best hockey shop, 1303 Mass Ave in Arlington, online at sportsetc.net. I know, Nelson. I'm telling him. Winter doesn't knock politely. It kicks the door in. That's why Super Service Today gives your home more than a tune-up. It gets a winter defense plan. A deep camera look inside your furnace's heart, an examination of the drains and filters, and pressure tests that spot trouble before it's too late. It's $199 and also makes you a Total Care member, where you get 2 free visits per year, priority scheduling, and peace of mind. Because when winter bares its teeth, they've got your back. Book now at superservicetoday.com.
SuperServiceToday.com.
Webster Bank was founded in 1935. Banking's changed since then, and so have we. We've grown into one of the largest banks with comprehensive financial solutions that meet the needs of modern life. But in 90 years, one thing hasn't changed. We're committed to doing what's right for our clients, our colleagues, and the communities we serve. Today, tomorrow, and for the next 90 years. A legacy of purpose with a future of possibilities. Learn more at websterbank.com. Webster Bank N.A. member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Bruins fans, Hat Trick ticket packs are on sale. Choose your own pregame plan and score a complimentary Bruins winter hat with purchase. Ticket packs are available for $198, and inventory for selected games is available on a first-come, first-served basis while supplies last. Grab your pack now at bostonbruins.com/hat-trick-packs.
L&F Electrical, don't get sparked with high prices.
L&F is a veteran-owned company offering premier services such as heat pumps, generators, car charger installs, panel upgrades, and more. Call 844-LF-WISE or visit lfelectralservice.com.
Sunday, the AFC East champion Patriots finished the regular season at home against the rival Miami Dolphins.
Touchdown, Patriots!
And Gillette Stadium will be rocking.
Throws it into his hands. Touchdown, Patriots!
Gasper and Murray kick off our game day coverage from Splitsville at 1:30. Kickoff with Bob and Zoe is at 4:25 on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
Touchdown, Patriots!
The Pats, the Dolphins, on your home of postseason New England Patriot football. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Everybody knows Joe.
Just keeps getting better.
Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Just remember this being an iPod commercial back when iPods were like new. 8:50 tonight, by the way, the Foxhole, when we discussed the death of MTV, music television. What killed MTV? We'll get into that. I mean, think about it, though. Streaming killed iPods, right? iPods were constructed out of the death of Napster. Napster killed 1990s CD clubs. Record stores are gone now, for the most part. Almost totally. Music has changed so much in not even a whole lot of generations here. But we still love it. We still love our music. I was talking the other night, I'm still even listening to the current day hits on the Kids Bop channel. Kids get in the truck. Hey, Dad, can we play the Kids Bop channel? Sure, whatever. Everything's auto-tuned. Sounds like terrible. Tripe. But I know what the hits are. You like any? Do you like any pop, like popular now music? You mentioned Migos. They had a hit like 7 or 8 years ago that was like really big. Which one did they have? What was the big one?
They have a good amount of hits. I think. Are you talking about the one
like the first one?
Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up.
It's like a big song. Big song.
We used to play them just like when we're warming up for basketball.
Okay,
that's why.
Okay.
What are your? Do you have XM at all, Sean? Are you an XM guy?
So I have it because I got a new vehicle this year. I've told you my truck.
What's the new vehicle?
My truck was hit by lightning.
No, are you kidding?
Yeah, no, my truck was hit by lightning. I was not in it, but it fried everything electrical in the truck, and obviously it was a 2015. But obviously everything in any modern vehicle, you just you put lightning to it, and there you go, gone. Migos no longer together, huh? Bad and Bougie, was that it? Peaked to top the hit chart. There we go. Bad and Bougie. That was the one, I think. So yeah, my truck got struck by lightning. I went to Franklin Ford and got a Ford Maverick. So me and Jake Seymour both pushing Ford Mavericks, and I got the free trial. So despite being, someone who, makes at least some of my bones here on terrestrial radio, as they call it, I do have the satellite radio in my vehicle, and I do enjoy some of the offerings. Were you going to suggest something for me?
No, I was going to see, like, do your kids listen to, like, the Pop 2K in the song or anything like that?
Pop 2K.
I remember when I was younger, that's because my dad's had XM forever, so when I was younger, I used to explore all that, I'd be like, oh, this is awesome. This is way cool.
Well, you know what I found? Like the last time I got a vehicle, which would have been like 10 years ago, as I had the Sirius free trial, but like after a while, I just kind of was like, all these stations kind of play the same, batch of songs. So, I mean, yeah, you got a ton of stations, but they're all kind of, I don't know. So, Pop 2K, sure, 80s on 8, 90s on 9, they're coming up. I like a lot of classic rewind, which is like your 70s into 80s rock, as opposed to like the classic vinyl, which is like 60s into 70s. But yeah, my kids will listen to the classic rewind. Listen to a lot of the holiday channels as well.
Are your kids? I know you said your son was a football fan.
Yeah.
Are your kids into professional sports as well? I know they use soccer and everything, but yeah. What are they all bought? I know your son said he was a Chiefs guy. He bounces around a little bit.
Yeah, well, it all clicked with football in first grade for my son. It's like I didn't even know that he cared about it. And then he came back from one of his first days of school in first grade last year and was just like, I'm the biggest football fan ever. And I was like, what? So then he started collecting cards, and then like collecting cards became he wanted to collect Pokemon cards. But he still kind of likes sports cards too. But yeah, no, he's watched every Patriots game, I think, this year that, that's been an appropriate hour. He's 7. And likes the Celtics. Obviously, a lot of those are night games, but likes to sometimes watch a quarter or two of Celtics. I think he fancies himself a hockey fan, but doesn't really watch that as much. He was into the Red Sox this year too. So it's all kind of. We've been to a Revs game. We've been to a Woo Sox game. We have we've split season tickets for the upcoming women's soccer team, the Boston Legacy, this summer. Or this spring, I guess. They're going to be playing at Gillette for their first season, so that should be fun to see some world-class women's soccer in Foxborough. So yeah, wild that the Revs are out. at some point, leaving Gillette after 30 years and going to Everett. That big news this week. Did that break today or was it yesterday? I forget. Might have broken today.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I'm swimming right now in this week and all the things that have been going on. But the Revs are out. It'll be just the Pats and concerts and high school football Super Bowls at Gillette from now on. Oh man, we got a great one on the air right now. JP and NP wants to talk some music. How are we doing, JP?
Sean Sylver, remember way back when we were going to do a little Bismarck E versus Heavy D together? Way back. Our friend Jeff Williams would remember that.
Wow.
Can always break into a new song when we're talking music. Big DMX fan, body of work.
Yeah.
But I got an important question. You know for who?
Oh,
Sean.
Yeah.
We're talking trucks. What does the Macho Man drive? What kind of truck? Is he an F-150, Cadillac Escalade? And what's he rocking in that truck of his when he's up there tooling around?
I love it, JP. Hey, thanks for the question, and Happy New Year, too, my friend.
Happy New Year, Sean.
Oh, yeah. Joe Ariano, you might not know. You may not have been introduced to the Macho Man Randy Savage. Yeah. What am I tooling around in? Yeah, good question. Yeah, real good question, JP in North Providence. My answer to you is the car that you could win at the 1985 Wrestling Classic pay-per-view. Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud. Yeah, only the finest of the fine for the greatest Hurricane heavyweight champion of all time. Oh, yeah. Joe, were you a big wrestling fan as a child?
No, but Joe...
Or maybe as an adult?
No, but Joe Murray has been slowly turning me around a little bit.
Slowly turning you around? What does that mean? Is he getting you interested in the current product? The
I watched
John
Cena's last match.
Okay.
I'm now tuning in.
Okay.
When before it wasn't even on my radar. Now, I'm at the beginning stages of a fandom, perhaps, where you're like, oh, what's this? Let me see if this piques my interest.
Okay. So so you are, despite John Cena kind of being a guy who's been wrestling for a long time, you were watching it in the current sphere. So the current product, does that interest you very much, or?
I'm kind of one of those losers who likes, like streamers and all that, and
sure.
Logan Paul has been in some stuff, so
okay.
I can say they are.
That doesn't make you a loser. Yeah. That just makes you someone who's in their 20s.
They are reaching out to my generation pretty well, and the younger generation. So some of the the characters they bring on, and influential sports figures like Gronk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They are piquing my interest by the characters they are bringing on. I wasn't too into the wrestling product itself, but I think the storylines do kind of interest me.
Yeah, I'm not as big on it as I used to be, certainly, when I was a younger person. But, they to your point, they definitely work in the celebrity tie-ins. That's always been a thing with wrestling, though. I mean, like, the first WrestleMania, the big thing was Mr. T was going to be there. And Cyndi Lauper. I mean, very 80s. Muhammad Ali was a guest referee. So that's just historically always the thing. They're always trying to bait people into this, farcical athletic exhibition of pro wrestling, which I have all the respect in the world for the people who do it. It's just, it's wild, just how wrestling kind of persists. The culture has splintered into so many different directions. And, to the point where, you're into streamers, right? I'd probably have no idea who more than half of those people are, right? But we all congregate on the wrestling ring. And I think there's a SmackDown. I think it's tomorrow night. Or wait, no, is it tonight? What? I don't know. There's something going on. There's an event in Boston. Is it tonight? There's an event in Boston coming on. WWE is coming to town, much like Santa Claus over a week ago, so... I don't know. I guess I got to check.
Were you a big Andre the Giant fan? Because I think that's his story. Kind of I love listening to like the majestical things he could do, like the 100 beers on the plane.
Yeah, Wade Boggs and he would have had quite the competition, apparently, from the lore of beer drinking. But he scared me as a kid because I got into wrestling when Andre was a bad guy. Similar with the Macho Man, I got in when he was a bad guy. But that's the thing with wrestling. It's, the stories. You get interested in the backstory of the character, and then you figure out, oh, that guy used to be a good guy, not a villain. Can I learn some more about that? And that's when I, kind of got pulled into the majesty of Macho Man Randy Savage, and he became my favorite. Same thing with Andre. It's just amazing. Did you ever see that documentary, that like Bill Simmons documentary?
Yeah, was that the HBO one?
Yeah,
that's what drew me into it. Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, and my dad, I think he saw Andre at the old Hopedale High School. And he shook his hand famously before he was famous. And Andre had a pituitary disorder, and I had something going on when I was a younger kid with my pituitary gland. So I've always kind of resonated with that a little bit.
Well, you must have gotten that figured out, because
it's figured out now.
I do not see you at 7'4" and 520 pounds leaning across the desk there looking at me. So that I'm glad that got resolved.
Mine was like a little pituitary growth or tumor. And,
gotcha.
Just had to. It was benign though, so all good.
Good. I mean, that's good. That's why this is why we are here today, making the magic that you're hearing right now. 617-779-0985. I'm notoriously terrible with my breaks, but we will take one now, and we'll be going to the Foxhole pretty soon. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, the Duke's Mayo Bowl is live right now, and it's currently Wake Forest with an 8-6 lead over Mississippi State. We got some live NHL hockey, the Winter Classic going on between the Panthers and the Rangers. Have you seen those Panthers uniforms? Look them up, Joe. It's hideous.
I've heard Majori's Kevin has quite the hideous hockey uniform collection.
I don't know. I feel like he buys a lot of jerseys, but I wonder, if he wastes the money on the hideous ones too. It's already an expense as it is to have a jersey collection that deep.
You have a jersey collection?
Used to. I've pared it down. Jay-Z line. I don't rock jerseys. I'm 30 plus. I'm 40 plus. I don't really rock jerseys. I have a few. We'll get into that later, though. Rangers and Panthers scoreless in the first of the Winter Classic. Golden Knights and Blues played earlier. St. Louis 4-3 winners. Bruins are off, of course. They'll be sending Charlie McAvoy and Jeremy Swayman to Team USA on the Olympic hockey rosters that were announced today. Joe Mazzulla, your Eastern Conference Coach of the Month in basketball, and the Patriots will play the Dolphins this Sunday in Foxborough. They'll get back Kayshon Boutte, Milton Williams, and Will Campbell for that contest. Your Sports Up headlines brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit newenglandoilchange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Sean Sylver, Boston Over Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update after 9.
Have you tried the good stuff yet? I'm talking about Good Stuff Smokehouse, New England's #1 authentic barbecue. This destination barbecue is going to keep you coming back again and again, from fall off the bone ribs, perfectly smoked burn ends, and all the fixings. You got to try the good stuff. Head to goodstuffsmokehouse.com to see the full menu.
What's up, everybody? It's Adam and your boy Lou from Central 44 Jeep Dodge Ram and Raynham. The holidays are here, football's rolling. It's the perfect time to upgrade your drive during the Wrap Up the Year sales event. We've got an unbelievable gift waiting for you. Get a 2025 Jeep Wrangler Sport S lease for $229 a month for 36 months with $39.95 down, 7,500 miles per year. That's the kind of holiday deal that brings cheer to every driveway. We're just minutes from anywhere, so you can upgrade your ride, spread a little holiday magic, and still be home before kickoff. Tell them what's up, Lou.
Central 44 Jeep Dodge Ram and Raynham, from our driveway to yours.
I'm Jen Harper, the founder of Cheekbone Beauty. We grew the brand to like $1 million from a corner of my basement. I don't feel like I'm technology savvy whatsoever, but companies like Shopify exist, so you can literally build a website in an evening. I really look at it like the sort of the level of the playing field, and Shopify just made it like foolproof. It was so easy. I don't think I could ever go work for anyone else ever again. We're Cheekbone Beauty, and we're powered by Shopify.
For all your heating and cooling needs, you need Endless Energy.
Cold snap coming? Make sure your home is ready. Endless Energy installs high-efficiency furnace and heat pump systems built for New England winters. We offer everything from financing to install. Stay warm, stay efficient, and get endless comfort all season long. Visit goendlessenergy.com to self-schedule today or call 775-ENDLESS and mention Sports Hub to unlock special discounts.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition. It's fully treatable. And at Northeast Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll also likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Northeast Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 617-793-5000. That's 617-793-5000. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
It's that time of year again. Happy Honda Days. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.99% APR on a 2026 CRV or a 3.49% APR on a 2026 HRV. Hurry into your local Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details.
Need a new roof for your home or business? Call East Coast Metal Roofing. Lifetime guaranteed roofs. And get 10% off during their New Year savings event. Call 844-611-ECMR or visit eastcoastmetalroofing.com.
Felger and Maz are just his pregame.
They've been getting wholesale deals for years.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hall.
Beard oil. It helps kind of keep the beard soft. Red Sox win. 98.5, C and 30. We want a rally we want. We want.
Oh, yeah. What does the fox say? What the fox say?
What the fox say? All right, 98.5 the Sports Hub. You're in the foxhole with the Silver Fox, Sean Sylver. Joe, this is your first journey into the foxhole.
I am ready. Also, who made that song? Because that is electric.
Well, that
Between
is
you and whoever the producer was.
Well, Jeremy Conley put that together.
That's awesome.
And of course, the song Ilvis, some Euro dance.
Yep.
If you haven't listened to their song Stonehenge, it's worth a laugh. But anyways, I've ranted about a lot of things in the foxhole over time. Some things serious, some things not so serious. I believe there was one such segment where I screamed as loud as I possibly could because they were doing a contest, like a screaming into a chasm contest to get the best echo. I feel like this was over in Iceland or something. I don't know. Hey, great anecdote, Sean. You can't even remember what you're talking about, but all of this to say that I've talked about a lot of silly things, animals up to no good. Today, I don't know how serious this is, but it's kind of an indication of how things are changing. And I had heard about this, but I guess now it's finally official. MTV is dead. Now, not really, because still in the United States, MTV, as we know it today, is still just a home of reality television. And they have several music channels that they've kept on the air. However, in the UK, which obviously, like, how much music, disproportionate amount of music comes from England compared to the population of the place, right? I mean, just historically, from like the British invasion in the 60s, classical music that coming out of England, just culturally, so much stuff comes out of England. But they shut down 5 different MTV stations there in England, as well as there's going to be music-only channels in Australia, Poland, France, and Brazil shutting down as well. And, I mean, that's really all you can do to see music videos on TV anymore. Not MTV proper, because, again, that's just reality shows. But, and I come in sometimes to the Sports Hub studio, and there's like an MTV Classic or MTV2 is on, and it's playing videos. And it's great. It's fantastic. I get a big kick out of it. I leave it up on the screen. I don't change it over to a sport. So, I mean, all of this to say, like, there was a time where, and I saw some folks in the chat being like, oh, yeah, someone curates my listening experience. I'd rather curate my own. And, yeah, I get it. But, there was a time where that connection with whoever the DJ was on the radio or the VJ on MTV was, they were bringing you something that they deemed to be important, so you thought that it was important too. And that was a pretty cool thing. And yeah, it's just, another, I guess eventually, MTV will be completely gone or maybe be renamed. Like, how can you have some of these channels doing, a bunch of these channels now are like AMC used to be American Movie Classics because they showed movies. Now it's just AMC. It's just prestige television. The acronym means nothing, right? MTV, the acronym, does not mean music television when you're not showing music. So it's all another crazy step in, the dissolution of the monoculture, which has already happened. But, more news on that front. But, yeah, I'd asked Joe about his relationship with MTV, or at least his understanding of it. So when you were growing up, well, I guess let's put it this way. Like, growing up, once I was of age to watch it, because my parents didn't let me watch MTV until a certain age, VH1 was okay. But on to MTV, that was too edgy. But from, like, I don't know, sometime in the early 90s through, like, college, which for me was in the early 2000s, maybe even a little bit after, I watched a lot of MTV. It was probably with ESPN, the various ESPN stations. I'm trying to think of it, if it, like, because back in the day, if you had to get cable to have MTV, of course, and like you could getting cable also meant you could get like TNT. You'd have ESPN, Disney Channel, VH1, like Court TV. Trying to think. I don't even know if like Discovery Channel might have been like another package, but at least for me, like MTV was one of the most visited channels that I had. And now to think that it just means nothing to anybody anymore, and internationally it's shutting down is kind of crazy. So, like, did you have a relationship with MTV? Would you come home from school to like watch it? And if you ever did watch it, what were you watching?
So I think my all-time favorite show, and I might be even dating myself a little bit here with people younger than me, is when Jersey Shore first came out. That was like a cultural phenomenon.
Yes,
like,
it was.
Everyone was sitting on their couch at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock on Thursday night. And
Must have been like 2010, I want to say.
2009 to 2014 it was. 2009 it premiered on Jersey Shore. And I remember like everyone was watching that show. You're coming into school. You watched Jersey Shore last night. Oh, my parents wouldn't let me. That type of thing. But
yeah.
It was. I thought that was like the coolest show when it came. And those people are all still like famous today. That was what I thought of like MTV as like, oh, it's like this exclusive inside look into, people's lives that I don't get to experience.
And I can't even remember the names of those people, and I didn't actively watch the show, but you were so exposed to them, right? You had Snooki, right? You had, obviously DJ Pauly D was the guy from Rhode Island, so all the New Englanders were like, oh, yeah, there's a New England guy in there. There was Mike the Situation. There was Sammy Sweetheart, right? And then
my God!
And there were like two. There were two others.
Yeah, I believe Vinny and Dina, and JWoww.
Oh, JWoww, yes, JWoww.
And they're all still like pretty, like they're on TV still. Like they all have like that. There's like a Jersey Shore family vacation, and they're all very popular on Instagram.
Talk about playing it up to the hilt. Wow. So they're. I figured these people would be big on like Instagram Reels. Maybe somebody's got a podcast by now. I assume, right? They've moved on to the next media venture to keep themselves relevant.
Yeah, I've seen them like they're all over Barstool Sports still too. I think they still have a show. I wonder if it's on. I have to check let me check what network it's on. But they still have a weekly show that premieres that a lot of people are turned into. It's called, Jersey Shore Family Vacation. I have to do a little more research into it, but they're all still loved. And I still follow, all of them. That was my childhood was like, my dad was like, oh, he used to like sit down and watch the, Sopranos or Office every week. I'm like, yeah, I think that show for my generation, like the first show was Jersey Shore. I'm like, oh, I can't wait. I'm not going to wait for this to come out on. I don't even think there was a Netflix at the time, to be fair.
No.
But you're like, I'm not recording this. I'm watching
DVDs from Netflix.
Yeah. You're like, I got to watch this live or I'm not going to understand, I'm going to miss this week's episode.
Yeah. I mean, look at the moment we just had there, right? I mean, that's not even like, again, that's not even like a show that I watched. And I'm not saying that I didn't watch it because like I want to be thought of as, like a serious person or something. I didn't really watch it. I wasn't super interested in it at the time. I was watching other stuff that was probably a million times stupider. Like I remember watching like The Bachelor back then, or American Idol back then, or a lot of those like VH1 reality shows, like Flavor of Love. And I spoke of one recently. I think when I was in here with Jeff Williams, when Tommy Lee Goes to College, like just stupid shows, right? But the MTV, you knew that everybody was going to be watching it. You all participated in it. You all knew about it. Like it was just a thing, Like I remember, all right, TRL, right? I will make a sad admission right now, just a very, very sad admission. So I watched TRL. I was probably like 16, 17. I was still watching it. I loved like late 90s pop music. Even like the boy band, girl, whatever, teen pop stuff. Like great songs. I love the MTV original series that they made Together, where they made up a fake boy band and they had a bunch of like catchy pop songs. Loved it. I'm not ashamed to admit this because I know there are other people out there like me who are also not ashamed to admit it and could engage in conversation about it. But I remember, okay, do you know who Tom Green is?
No idea who Tom Green is.
Canadian comedian, really stupid, like dumb, like fart humor and stuff, gross out humor. Was in a bunch of bad movies, dated or was married to Drew Barrymore. Do you know who that is?
I know who Drew Barrymore. She's from Fever Pitch.
There you go. All right. So we've got our cultural touchstone of Fever Pitch to unite us here. But Tom Green came out with this video for something called the Bum Bum song. It is the dumbest thing in the history of the world. But when I was probably 16 or 17 years old, I remember emailing people that I knew because I thought that should be number one on TRL. Who does this? At like 17 years old or whatever, how old I was when the Bum Bum song by Tom Green was on. Who emails their friends to tell them to vote on TRL? How stupid a kid was I?
I think that was normal at the time. Even with me, I remember. Do you remember at Red Sox games before the online ballots took place for the All-Star game?
Oh, sure.
You would pick those up and you would like prick a pencil into like, oh, this guy should be an All-Star, and then you'd have to. I would do that every year. I feel like that was more of a phenomenon when maybe this generation, all online, all.
Well, now it's so weird online with All-Star voting because they're like votes count 3 times as much today, and it's just like what the hell's going on? Like I just voted on this yesterday. It counts 3 times as much today. I got to go back on and do it again. Like I don't know. I feel like that's much more legitimate than emailing your probably like 6 or 7 friends where I actually had their email address, because back then like not everybody had an email address, or maybe I knew like their AOL Instant Messenger handle, but didn't know I emailed people to tell them to vote for this song on TRL.
Well, did it finish first, or did it work?
It probably did. I can't believe that Tom Green drew me in so much to this scheme here, where I had to encourage people to vote for him to be number one. It's funny. Like, I don't know. Maybe this happens more with texts now, but there's definitely some emails in my past that I've sent, and I never got a reply to from anybody who I sent it to. And I've always wondered, like, well, did that go through? Or was it just not answered? Should I ask the person about it? And then it's like 15 years later that, like, song that I wrote and, recorded myself singing and sent it to my girlfriend at the time. Did she not get that file? Or did she just choose to ignore the song that I emailed her in 2010? I don't know. I don't know. But it pops up in my head nowadays. I also sent the same song to my aunt, and she also did not reply. So I don't know. But embarrassment. And now I'm sharing it with all of you. 617-779-0985. As we roll along into the 9 o'clock hour, I promise there's just one more hour of this. Oh my gosh. Jump in, people in the YouTube chat. Who remembers UPN? Yeah, I do. I watched a lot of UPN in like the early WB lineup. Anybody remember the TV show Nick Freno, Licensed Teacher? I do. Why? I don't know. I want my Spike TV, says somebody. Another person talking about G4. I remember watching Beavis and Butthead, Daria, and Celebrity Deathmatch. I really like Daria. I felt like, did they reboot Daria? Is that possible? Like, how can you do that? A lot of people just commenting on no more music, just reality shows. What other channels are dying? Probably a lot of them. Either way, thanks, folks, for being in the chat tonight on YouTube. Thanks for being on with us. And, that's the Foxhole for Friday evening, January 2nd of 2026. Just getting this year off to a running start with a eulogy for MTV, at least across the pond. We got an hour left. I want to hit on some Pats. I saw some comments in the chat earlier about the Pats, so maybe we'll revisit those. Obviously, we're going to get some heavy doses of Street Team Joe because Joe's great, and he's my new best friend. So we're going to roll along here. See folks lining up on the phones curiously. So we'll address those next on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to start strong. With best-in-class strength and cardio equipment, you can give everything you've got. Save $28 or more when you join today for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 9th. See Club for details.
Nobody knows the New England commercial truck business like McGovern Ford in Lowell, Framingham, Beverly, and Saugus. They have the full line of Ford-built tough trucks and vans for commercial use. Get a dependable workhorse for hauling, delivery, or specialized business tasks. Ford commercial trucks and vans deliver the performance and value that professionals trust. Visit McGovern Ford in Framingham, Lowell, Beverly, and Saugus. Shop now at McGovernFord.com. That's McGovernFord.com.
Hey, it's Maz for Aaron's. Cold, windy, but there's no snow. But let me remind you that the infamous Snowmageddon year, where we got pummeled with snow, didn't start until January 26th. That's right, the weather can change on a dime, so do what I did. Be prepared with an Aaron's, the king of snow. I trust Aaron's to throw snow better and farther than any other snow throwers out there. So for you, throw back what old man winter dishes out with Aaron's, the king of snow. Visit your local independent Aaron's dealer today.
Feel like something's missing? Not sure what your purpose is? You're not alone. We get it. Life is speaking, but are you listening? At Vocations Boston, we'll help you discover your path and live the life you were made for. You're meant for more than you think. It's time to act. Life's calling. Scan the QR code or visit youseethesigns.org.
We're celebrating this month like never before. It's our annual year-end celebration. And this year will be the best one yet. Incredible year-end deals on every Chevy, Nissan, Honda, Kia, and Volkswagen, and hundreds of certified used too.
We constantly check the competition to guarantee our best price possible every day on every new and used vehicle. But for our year-end celebration, we're taking this to another level, a whole new level.
Correct. Incredible savings on every Kia, Chevy, Honda, Nissan, and Volkswagens. It's our year-end celebration like never before.
Commonwealth Motors, located right off Route 495, exit 103A in Lawrence.
Find us fast at shopuslast.com.
Celebration. I love that word. And to all our wonderful customers, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, shop us last, you'll love us, and have a very happy and healthy New Year.
Hey, it's Hardy. If your attic insulation's outdated, call Revise, a mass save partner. They'll do a no-cost home energy assessment, and you could save 75 to 100% on insulation and air sealing. Don't wait. Visit callrevise.com or call 800-885-SAVE.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
This hour on 98.5 The Sports Hub was brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is Boston's home for sports. Touchdown! The flagship station of the Patriots ruin the Celtics. WBCFM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station celebrating 65 years of broadcasting. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Patriots getting ready for the Dolphins on Sunday. Kayshon Boutte will be back in the fold for that game. And according to head coach Mike Vrabel, we're also going to see some Milton Williams and a little Will Campbell for the Dolphins. Devon Achane, doubtful for that game. In the NBA, Joe Mazzulla named Eastern Conference Coach of the Month. The Celtics will also get back at it against the Clippers tomorrow night in a game that you can hear on our sister station 105.7 WROR in Boston. The Bruins off tonight as well. They will go against the Canucks tomorrow night. You can hear that on the Sports Hub. Several Bruins named to international teams for the Olympics. Jeremy Swayman and Charlie McAvoy named to Team USA for those upcoming games over in Italy. Winter Classic going on right now between the Panthers and the Rangers, and New York has gotten on the board twice in the opening period. The Bread Man potting his 15th of the season along with Savannah Jad, his 13th. They're up 2-0 on the Panthers on that Miami ice. And, I think I'll stop there. That's good for me. The headline's brought to you by Awaken 180. Happy holidays from Paige and the entire team at Awaken 180. Wishing you a season full of joy, good health, and happiness in the new year. I'm Sean Sylver, Boston Over Sports, 98.5 Sports FX Update, 9:30.
Quick, smelly.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
With one Joe, and it's one you should know, but it's not Joe Murray. Street Team Joe in here running the thing. Sean the Fox Sylver with you as we stretch it out towards 10 o'clock. And I mean, that foxhole right there, it was an all-timer, I'm sure, as Joe and I talked about the merits of one Jersey Shore program. But also we got our friend Topher on the line. He's in Reading with a comment on the death rattle of MTV. Topher, how are you?
Good, Sean. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good tonight.
Good. Did Joe tell you what he had for dinner yet?
Street Team Joe or Joe Murray?
Oh, Street Team Joe.
Street Team Joe.
I would imagine he's like in bed right now.
Well, Joe was here with McCarthy, so I figured, when I saw him, he hadn't eaten yet. It was around 6 o'clock, so Joe Murray has not informed me. But Street Team Joe, are you hiding something from me?
Oh, Topher knows I'll be going to. I got Chipotle back here, and I'll be endeavoring it right at 10 o'clock.
How many days straight have you had Chipotle, buddy?
Topher, that's just a question that I don't know if the people want answered, but I think I'm addicted to Chipotle. If I'm not cooking, I think Chipotle is my go-to. I don't feel typically unhealthy eating it. However, it can get unhealthy pretty fast if I go chips and guac along with it. So, I try to go just a bowl, Topher, but it can get out of hand, I might need double chicken or something. What did you have for dinner tonight, Topher?
I cheated and I got Wendy's.
Okay, there we go. Dave Thomas, classic.
Yep.
So I'm Topher. You set this up. We put this on a silver platter here. No food pun intended there. But I just noticed how at ease Joe was just discussing dinner.
It's a normal thing because him and Joe. I'm a fan of Joe, the Joe Show. I listen in, and I love 98.5 the Sports Hub. But the one thing is Joe will talk to Joe about food all the time. Street Team Joe's dad will call in, mention and talk about food. So I also am a connoisseur of food. As me and Joe Murray have gone back and forth a lot of times with food.
Yes. No, the Wendy's burgers, I think, are of a certain quality, and the fries also are a standout.
Oh, God, yes. Plus, their nuggets are probably top tier from everybody else, except for Chick-fil-A.
Top tier, yes. Top tier among the non-Chick-fil-A category, for sure. I mean, what would this show be? What would the Joe Show or something calling itself the Joe Show be without food talk? And by God, Topher, watching the phone lines light up now that we're talking about food is just I'm like seeing the Joe Murray magic get transferred to me. It's remarkable. So Joe, go ahead.
Joe has said you are like an amazing human being. So listening to you over the past couple nights, yes, I can confirm that.
Thank you. Much appreciated. And I've heard good things about you as well, friend. So, no. All good things. Again, if I were an amazing human being, right, would I be trying to slander you right now? Not at all. Only good things. Only good things.
But my part to MTV, so this way I'll let you get back to the show, so this way I can listen in. I am 46. I'm an older guy like myself. One of the things is MTV started around the time I was born.
Yeah.
But I can state one of the joyous parts of like sneaking in, like when I was younger, remote control was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, man.
There was a lot of things that got introduced that you saw human anatomy that was a little different when you were a kid, to keep it clean. But the other thing is, bringing up that point, were you a Jenny McCarthy guy or a Carmen Electra guy?
Wow.
Because both of them got their main parts from MTV.
Yeah, from Singled Out.
Yep.
That's a great question. Topher, appreciate the call. Thank you for the kind words, and Happy New Year.
No problem, man.
Wow. I'm trying to think back to the time, because that's something where I should have a very firm opinion. I think I was a Carmen Electra guy. As far as Singled Out went, but then when she went beyond that, I was just kind of like, I think I'm kind of done. And by the time she arrived at the Dennis Rodman era, it was like, all right, now I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this, because when you're a young boy, your celebrity crushes, you have expectations for them, and when you find out maybe that they're a subpar actress, or they're on the Dennis Rodman all aboard the crazy train, you just kind of say, I'm not really interested in that business anymore. But yeah, no, she was great. Jenny McCarthy, never really been a huge fan of. Yeah, my Lord, I got into The Masked Singer like probably 6-7 years ago. Oh, jeez, I did it 6-7 years ago. But The Masked Singer, watched it like in 2019, maybe 2020. I remember during COVID they had a season. It might have been the last one I watched. Jenny McCarthy on there was unbearable. I'm sorry. Just unbearable. I feel like she's still there. Probably still unbearable. Oh, man. Okay, 617-779-0985. Hey, Joe, let's reset here. Let's hit a break on time, and then when we start the next segment, we'll be on time, and maybe we can aspire to get out of here on time. So I'm going to do that. We're going to reset. Again, we'll take your MTV calls. We'll take your food calls. We'll take your Patriots calls. We'll take your commentary on the YouTube about anything. I might even get it. I might dig out Hall of Fame ballot stuff. But I feel like this is timely. Let's break now. 9:17, go. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
It's that time of year again. Happy Honda Days. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Accord or a 4.99% APR on a 2026 Civic. Hurry into your local Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
Become a top performer with UMass Lowell's online MBA. Consistently ranked among the top by U.S. News and World Report. Discover UMass Lowell's online MBA at uml.edu/online.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope. It's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Hey, it's Zoe. Listen, it's cold. Real New England cold. And when that happens, we all run inside and crank the heat. But before you breathe that warm and cozy air, do you know what's hiding in your ducts? I'm talking pounds of nasty stuff, dead insects, dust, pet dander. Basically, a mini haunted house living in your vents. And that's why my guy Chris and his team at Green Home Solutions are the real MVPs. They hit your system with antimicrobial treatment, hospital-grade disinfection, and boom, the bug poop, the grossness, it's all gone. So do your lungs a favor. Call 1-800-SOLUTIONS. Tell them Zoe sent you.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Drains by James is Eastern Mass's leader in drain cleaning and pipelining. And by now, you know they give a poop about your pipes. Drains by James wants you to know what else they give a poop about. Fast, clean, trustworthy service of your clogged pipes, drains, sinks, toilets, showers, you name it. Drains by James gives a poop about you, the customer. They're not electricians, not HVAC guys. They do drains. So go with them if you have a clog. You may not need them today, but when you do, Drains by James. We give a poop about your pipes.
See icon David Ortiz at the Brook Casino Saturday, January 22nd at 7 p.m. in the season showroom. Hear Big Poppy's stories from his time in Boston, plus a Q&A with the crowd. Additional seating in the DraftKings Sportsbook. Free event, 18 plus. The Brook, exit 1 off I-95 in New Hampshire. Live free and play.com.
Want the lowest price on name brand tires? Town Fair Tire beats all the competition. We beat the wholesale clubs. We beat online prices. We beat all local tire dealers. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire. Sunday, the AFC East champion Patriots finished the regular season at home against the rival Miami Dolphins.
Touchdown, Patriots.
And Gillette Stadium will be rocking.
Jim throws it, puts it into his hands. Touchdown, Patriots.
Jasper and Murray kick off our game day coverage from Splitsville at 1:30. Kickoff with Bob and Zoe is at 4:25 on the Safety Insurance 98.5, the Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
Touchdown, Patriots.
The Pats, the Dolphins, on your home of postseason New England Patriot football. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Zolak and Bertrand get you through the midday. Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the Sports Hub.
And keep me in line. Your opinions may vary on whether or not he's actually succeeded or if he's just gone along with whatever this is that I am bringing you this evening.
I don't think I am very helpful at keeping you in line. If anything, I'm adding to the cause.
I mean, you know, to use the term off the rails with radio, it can be used in an affectionate way, and it can be used in a, maybe a criticizing fashion. And, I've gone off the rails on radio a certain number of times. But as I mentioned, Joe, I mean, this is year 13. This is calendar year 13 of me being on this radio station. And somehow, by some minor to major miracle, I guess it depends on how important people think I am, whether it's a minor or a major miracle, but it's a miracle nonetheless that I am still here. So I've just decided it's 2026. I'm just freewheeling out here. I'm shooting from the hip. And this is how I'm going to shoot from the hip this segment. You told me that your big New Year's Eve plan was to Irish exit the place that you were going and watch Stranger Things. And I want to know, did you succeed?
I succeeded. It was
was it awesome?
All right, I'll get to the so the Irish goodbye thing I've mastered to this point. My friends have gotten used to it. In the past I've had some health complications, which, have made it easier to Irish goodbye.
Okay.
And there's already an explanation there.
Yeah.
But now it's a little bit tougher. So if I get caught, people will, be upset with me, or they're like, where are you going? But
you can't keep using that pituitary gland excuse.
Exactly. That's actually pretty much word for word probably what happens. But on this particular case, people migrated to the basement of this house for a darts and pool tournament, which I did partake in.
Great.
But around 11:30, like I said, before that ball dropped, I went upstairs to use the bathroom, and I made my swift exit and got home in 10 minutes to watch Stranger Things.
So were you eliminated from the tournaments, or did you leave someone in the lurch here with their bracket?
So the thing was, I think I left the man down on when it came to darts.
Oh no!
I left the, but I think in pool I'm not very good. So I think in pool they could have benefited from me leaving and finding a new partner. I do feel bad about my darts partner. I might have let them down a little bit. But I think people were migrating back upstairs to watch the ball drop. So I don't think the tournament was lasting that much longer.
Okay. All right. I mean, have you apologized to the darts partner?
Yeah, I texted the group chat and was like, "Hey guys, sorry I left. I was getting tired, not feeling great. Stranger Things is on." They knew Stranger. Like there are a couple people in the group knew Stranger Things was coming on, and they're big Stranger Things fans. Not as big as me to leave a New Year's party to go watch it. I think I'm alone in that camp.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how you termed this too. You gave your reasons for departing. It was late. I kind of wasn't feeling good. Also, Stranger Things was on. For some reason, that resonated with a phone call I received from a woman once. Who I was attempting to date, and I thought we'd had a great first date. And this is obviously years ago. I've been off the market a long time, which is probably good news for everyone involved. Maybe not my wife, but I got kind of, I wasn't really feeling good. It was kind of, I didn't really like the food. Oh yeah. And you're just not my type. And I was like, well, you could have just spared me the pleasantries of being like, oh, I didn't like the food at this establishment. I wasn't really feeling good. Just tell me straight out that you're not my type. Tell me straight out, Joe, that you want to lead the party and go watch Stranger Things. Oh, man. Stranger Things kind of, you might call this the modern Jersey Shore, in that so many people are into streaming Stranger Things. Was it everything that you ever expected and more?
I'm not going to give anything away.
Oh, no spoilers.
No
just
spoilers.
Just an impression.
Overall, I thought it was a tad disappointing.
Oh.
That being said, Sean, this is another tangent we could go down.
Oh, boy.
How many of your all-time favorite shows would you say had a satisfying ending? And I was thinking about this because it was a topic with my friends and I, and it was tough to come up with, some of our all-time favorite shows. You're like, oh, that was the ending that it needed. A lot of them are disappointing.
Yeah, no, I mean, season finales or series finales and shows have always been a thing. And, you think about again, in the culture I was raised in and being told what was important, right? Like the TV series MASH was huge in the 70s and 80s. And the MASH finale for a long time, I think it might have even been better than the Super Bowl. It was the all-time highest rated TV show ever. When I was a kid, Cheers went off the air. I would say that the Cheers finale might be the standard bearer. And I'm not a big current TV guy. I don't watch a whole lot of shows. There haven't been a lot of shows that I've been into, and I watch sports. I listen to the Joe Show at night while I'm fixing crap in my basement, that my kids have broken, things like that. I listen to podcasts. I don't sit down. There's a few shows, one of which is coming back next month, Shrinking on Apple TV. Really like that.
Love that show. That's a great show.
Yeah. We just, my wife and I were really remiss on wrapping up Only Murders in the Building from the last season. So we just watched a couple of those the other night to finish that off. There's a handful that I enjoy, but not a whole lot of TV that I watch by myself to keep up on. So, yeah, I remember being really invested in, say, How I Met Your Mother.
Also a fan, yeah.
Right? And, everybody was upset about the ending of that. Generally it's TV series finales are just a reason for somebody to have an opinion, good or bad. And people argue about it online. That's what we do now. So I feel like if that's how you feel about Stranger Things, we're probably heading that direction too.
Yeah, it's one of those things, especially today's day and age, it's all over Twitter. What do you think? Can't believe this happened. Here's another way, it could have ended. I feel like, Twitter, for better or worse, is going to get these end of, seasons out there, especially for debate. And yeah, and I agree with you. There's How I Met Your Mother, I thought was a tough ending. There's a lot of I thought, even the ending, a lot of people like Sopranos, wasn't my favorite ending.
Yep.
A lot of stuff like that. Even The Office, I didn't think was,
I'm trying to remember what happened at the end of The Office. Michael Scott came back for that, or, Steve Carell came back for that, right?
Yeah, he came back at the very end. I believe it was Dwight's wedding. There was a wedding. That was the last episode.
Man,
and Michael came back
that.
to be the best man.
Okay.
But he only had like a line or two in the whole episode.
Man, I watched The Office. I remember it really tailing off in those last seasons, being a hard watch, and I can't even remember the finale at this point. Holy cow. Yeah, that was... Yeah.
It was a tough couple last seasons without him. I still watched it through. Andy Bernard becomes manager.
Sure.
Will Ferrell had a brief stint in there.
Yeah,
and that was tough.
Yeah, that wasn't my favorite. The Robert California, that wasn't my favorite. But alas, not. You think about it like everything. It just you can't just continue to mine the same stuff. Eventually, you just run out of material, right? And that's how it is. So Stranger Things is now over. The kids are like in their 20s probably, right? So you can't be doing that anymore. But yeah, that was wild how big that got. And a big win for Netflix on New Year's Eve. We got Jason in Derry, New Hampshire, with a thought on Irish goodbyes. Jason, how are you?
How you doing? Irish goodbyes or Polish hellos? I think they're underrated. Like once you've established that in your friend group, that's who you go to. They don't even question it. Like say you leave the bar or something like that. The only thing I worry about is with that, say the whole boy who cried wolf thing could come into it. Say you pull an Irish goodbye and then you're really out back behind the bar getting jumped by 5 guys.
Yeah. I kind of got lost on Polish hello. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what a Polish hello is either, but he mentioned, he think Irish goodbyes are underrated. If a friend group is established, it could be beneficial, but he did mention there at the end that it could come back to haunt you, like the boy who cried wolf type scenario. If something actually was wrong or, you were in a fight or something outside the bar.
Then you've got
you're hosed.
Well, I mean, mainly you just got to, I would try not to be putting myself into the position to getting jumped by 5 guys behind the bar on my way out of the bar, thus not putting the Irish goodbye in jeopardy. Let's see. I Googled or I binged here because that's Polish hello, and it gives me how to say hello in Polish. We're going to have to look this up. 617-779-0985 if you know what a Polish hello is. And we roll along here, the Joe Show. Sean Sylver, half an hour left of this thing with Street Team Joe on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The New England Patriots look to finish their 2025 season on a high note when they host the Dolphins at Gillette Stadium on Sunday. Kayshon Boutte has cleared concussion protocol. Milton Williams and Will Campbell indicated by head coach Mike Vrabel that both of those players will be returning to the field for Sunday's game. Devon Achane doubtful for Miami. The Celtics will be wrapping up their road trip Saturday night against the Clippers out on the West Coast, looking to go 4-1 on the trip. Joe Mazzulla today named Eastern Conference Coach of the Month. The Olympic hockey rosters were announced with Jeremy Swayman and Charlie McAvoy representing Team USA. The Bruins also, with 2 games remaining on their West Coast swing through Canada, they'll be against the Canucks on Saturday night. The headlines brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Sean Sylver, Boston's Over Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Anyone can join the fun at New England's largest snow tubing park, Neshoba Valley Snow Tubing Park in Westford, Mass. 18 lanes of snow tubing, 100% snowmaking capabilities. For more information, visit skineshoba.com.
What's up, everybody? It's Adam and my boy Lou from Central 44 Jeep Dodge Ram of Raynham. The holidays are here and the season's heating up. During our wrap-up-the-year sales event, we're delivering a holiday deal that's an absolute touchdown. Right now, get a 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Altitude for $279 a month for 42 months with $39.95 down, 7,500 miles per year. Wrap, ready, and perfect for those holiday road trips. Central 44 is minutes from anywhere. So whether you're heading to Foxborough, Boston, or dashing around to holiday events with the kids, make sure to stop by. Tell them, Lou.
Central 44 Jeep Dodge Ram of Raynham, from our driveway to yours.
I'm Jen Harper, the founder of Cheekbone Beauty. We grew the brand to like $1 million from a corner of my basement. I don't feel like I'm technology savvy whatsoever, but companies like Shopify exist, so you can literally build a website in an evening. I really look at it like the sort of the level of the playing field, and Shopify just made it like foolproof. It was so easy. I don't think I could ever go work for anyone else ever again. We're Cheekbone Beauty and we're powered by Shopify.
When your team's best players have all been traded and the latest pick is overrated, just raise a glass with a friend or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. May your team be great and your picks be true, and if it falls apart, you'll know what to do. Just raise a glass with a fan or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. Hey! Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, 40% alcohol, William Grant & Sons Inc., New York.
Feeling drafts in your house? Struggling to keep your home or apartment warm this winter? Your home's insulation might not be up to the task, especially if it's as old as your house. That's where Revise comes in. As an official Mass Save partner, Revise offers no-cost home energy assessments. That's right, no cost to you. They'll check your insulation levels, and if your home or apartment needs more, Revise can install it with up to 75 to 100% of the costs covered by Mass Save. Revise is ready to help you stay warm. Call 800-885-SAVE or visit callrevise.com today.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Northeast Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you. It can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Northeast Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 617-793-5000. That's 617-793-5000. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Winter Skate is back at Patriot Place, bigger and better than ever. Perfect for families, friends, and skaters of all levels. Experience the joy of outdoor skating at the South Marketplace location. Download the Advantage app today for special winter skate rates and rewards. For information, visit patriot-place.com/winterskate. Need a new roof for your home or business? Call East Coast Metal Roofing, lifetime guaranteed roofs, and get 10% off during their New Year savings event. Call 844-611-ECMR or visit eastcoastmetalroofing.com.
Around here, we call them the Joe Murray Pre-Party. It's Felger and Maz afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
98.5 The Sports Hub, the Joe Show rolls along. No Joe Murray, Sean Sylver here with you till 10 o'clock. We got Street Team Joe alongside. We have been doing all kinds of stuff tonight. Right here, Googling Polish hello. Got nothing. Should have asked the caller.
The caller who called it, there's another guy who just called in saying the Polish hello in what he thought was just introducing yourself and then saying goodbye all in the same sentence, which I'm not opposed to. You know, if it's someone I'm not gonna have a conversation, be like, oh hey, nice to see you. I'm going over this way though.
yeah.
Like an old college friend, acquaintances maybe is the right term. I might use a Polish hello.
I could see myself having some Polish hellos for sure. And let's see, 2026 will be my 25th high school reunion. And I was speaking with an old friend who I was texting with last night, actually. And I know a little while ago we had been like, yeah, do you want to go to the reunion next year if we have one? Well, if I do, probably going to be a lot of Polish hellos. Probably not a whole lot to talk about with some people. I'm just kind of guessing. Lives might have moved in different directions, perhaps, or maybe there is. Maybe it'll I'll be hoarse at the end of the night. But yeah, no, Polish hello. One of my dear, very best friends is Polish, and the number of jokes that we had at his expense as kids is just highly, highly unnecessary. Poor guy. I guess he still calls me a friend, so I'm winning there, right? Hey, let's talk. Joe, let me ask you a football question here. Adam Vinatieri up for the Hall of Fame. No doubt that he should get in. Question is when, right? That's always the question. And you might have further representation on a coaching level or on an ownership level to the Pro Football Hall of Fame this year as well. Kraft, Belichick, Vinatieri on the table, Rob Gronkowski coming on the table next year, I believe, or 2027. And, of course, Tom Brady coming on the table as well. When you talk about some of the greatest dynasties in NFL history, everybody always kind of goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers as one, right? 4 rings for Chuck Noll and, that group there with the Steel Curtain defense and Bradshaw, Franco Harris, Lynn Swann. A lot of those guys are on. In fact, 9 guys from those 1970 Steelers teams are in. Seems like a lot. That's a lot. There have been some selections in recent years more recent years than, like the 80s and stuff, where people have been like, there's an awful lot of Steelers in that Hall of Fame. Is there some sort of bias going on here? Like, what's the deal? Did you know that the 49ers of the 1980s and 1990s, how many of them are in? Of their core guys?
So if you said 9 was a lot for Pittsburgh, I'm going to guess.
You think it's going to be more or less?
I think it's going to be less.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 6.
Okay, so the 80s Niners have 5 core guys, being Joe Montana, Steve Young, Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, and Charles Haley. Why did I say Jack Haley? That was an NBA journeyman. Charles Haley. I guess you could count maybe Deion Sanders, from the 90s teams because he was there for one of those rings. But honestly, those 80s teams, 4 Super Bowls, they won one more in 1994, and you had 5 guys. Not the burger chain. The Patriots, how many of their core players from their dynasties are in, to your estimation?
So we got Ty Law.
Yep.
Richard Seymour.
Yep.
I'm going to not... Rodney's not in yet.
Rodney's not in.
Do we have any linebackers in there?
Sort of. Junior Seau is in, but he
yeah.
did not win a Super Bowl with the Patriots.
Moss is in,
but he did not win a Super Bowl with the Patriots.
So, so specifically that dynasty.
And Darrelle Revis is in, but he was only here for a year. So, kind of questionable about how much do you count them as Patriots. I mean, yes, you count them for their contributions. And obviously the business of football has changed a lot from the Steelers and the 49ers. Like, those teams were together forever. Right, whereas Darrelle Revis being on a 1-year deal here, that doesn't happen pre-free agency, which was 1993 in the NFL. So, but only Richard Seymour and Ty Law for your hardcore longtime Patriots so far, and it really makes me wonder who of the hardcore Patriots that you identify with are going to wind up getting in. Adam Vinatieri's got to be in at some point. I don't know how long we're going to have to wait, but there's another. Obviously, he spent half of his career with the Colts, but he won 3 Super Bowls with the Patriots. That's a Patriot. And then you get to Harrison and Woolfolk, who have been considered in previous years, but did not make the final cut for this year. I feel like, Brady and Gronk are slam dunks. Rodney Harrison has a strong case. He doesn't really have the Pro Bowl numbers that maybe some other safeties who are in the Hall do. But he also played in like a really good era for safeties. And if you look at the cumulative statistics, his are better than everybody else. And then you look at the rings, and that it just kind of makes you wonder. We talked about a Celtics bias, at the NBA office. Obviously, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, different, from just the NFL, right? That's a completely different entity. It's not an NFL Hall of Fame. It's a Pro Football Hall of Fame. It could encapsulate a lot of different things. But do you see maybe potentially some sort of bias from the voters, or do you think maybe there's a caution against overloading on Pats until, say, Brady and Gronk are in, and then you can kind of start getting some of the other guys in?
Yeah, I would say up to this point, I don't have too much of an issue with who's not in there. I mean, a lot of those great Patriots, you would say, if anything, are more like their biggest factor was being clutch. Maybe not necessarily the numbers to back it up. Like Edelman,
right.
He's probably not a Hall of Famer, but he's as clutch as they get.
Yeah.
Like Logan Mankins, I don't think he has, necessarily the numbers to back it up either.
You could look at guys like you mentioned Edelman, right? Or like a Wes Welker, who was, like a big volume receiver, but maybe didn't have the longevity. Like Corey Dillon's rushing numbers compared to a lot of backs stand up pretty good. You've got a lot of like fringy guys. Like, would you consider Willie McGinnis a Hall of Famer? I mean, there was a guy who was as clutch as they come. Do the numbers stand up? It's just very interesting to me, and I still love Hall of Fame discussions. I come from that sort of era of loving when the Baseball Hall of Fame conversation came up. Every winter, and now it's just it's always going to be clouded by how are we voting for these supposed steroid guys or not. Did you know there's an A-Rod documentary out?
No, what's it on?
Well, it's about A-Rod.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, what network?
I forget because I haven't seen it. I just heard about it, but I was thinking about maybe checking it out. Although I don't really have any attachment to A-Rod. I feel like he kind of not comes clean, but just kind of talks frankly about everything. But it's like he's one of the few remaining guys, on the like Clemens and Bonds they're off the main ballot now, and you still got Manny. I think Manny's still on it.
Yeah, I think Manny's still on it,
and A-Rod's still on it, right? But Manny, I don't think is going to be on it for long. I think his last year was like 2010 or 2011, so he can't be on it for very much longer. And you got A-Rod, and it's just like, what do we do with these guys? Are you when it comes to baseball, are you really affected by all of that skepticism toward the potential role? At least in A-Rod and Manny's cases, like they were actual roid guys.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough one for me, but I mean the people who drew me to baseball were Manny, A-Rod, right. Bonds, like. And I think, the league was maybe promoted it is not the right term, but looked the other way.
Yeah, well, they were profiting.
Yeah, and they were profiting, right? And everyone's getting into baseball. You're buying the Barry Bonds bat, and the Manny cleats, and everything. That's what got my generation really into baseball, and probably grew the popularity. And now they're kind of throwing them under the bus, at the end here. Yeah. So, I mean, it's tough because this problem doesn't exist in any other sport. But if you want to let the best players in, I mean, didn't Craig beat who just got in from like the Astro? Was it Jeff Kent?
Kent got in. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we're letting Jeff Kent in, but not Barry Bonds and A-Rod and Manny.
Right.
Like,
Jeff Kent, a guy whose statistics, noticeably jumped when he was close to 30 years old and joined the San Francisco Giants clubhouse that included Barry Bonds, who was juiced to the gills. I'm not saying Jeff Kent used steroids, but it's like we can put in Jeff Kent, who has kind of a suspicious career arc. We can put in Jeff Bagwell, who had a suspicious career arc. Mike Piazza, who had a suspicious career arc. Again, I'm not saying, but it's like if you're applying one level of skepticism to one batch of players and not to the others. I mean, and it's funny you say, this problem doesn't really exist with other sports. it kind of makes you wonder, like, has the NFL ever really been clean?
Probably not.
It's just they just don't choose to harp on it and do the moral clause as much.
Except with marijuana, they've popped some people for that.
Yes, they have. Well, I figured I want to hit on the halls of fame because that's that and bowls. That's what gets you through this time of year, and winter classics. Let's chicken on that. What do we got there on the 3-0 Rangers with about 10 minutes left in the second? This is a real barn burner so far, and if the ice doesn't melt, we'll get 3 full periods of that. Hey, our ice is very quickly melting here. We'll take a quick break and come back and finish up this evening here on the Joe Show with Sean Sylver.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to start strong. With best-in-class strength and cardio equipment, you can give everything you've got. Save $28 or more when you join today for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 9th. See Club for details.
This year's Farmer's Almanac warns of a harsh, super snowy winter. So take control of the wet, snowy, and icy conditions with a new set of Bridgestone winter tires from Town Fair Tire at the guaranteed lowest price. Plus, Town Fair gives you the most free services for life with your purchase of Bridgestone winter tires. For the guaranteed lowest price on Bridgestone winter tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Drink and chill at the Sylvan Street Grill. The Sylvan Street Grill Thursday night Bruins ticket giveaways are back, courtesy of Coors Light, the official beer of the Boston Bruins. Every Thursday at the Sylvan Street Grill in Peabody, enjoy great food, drinks, and a chance to win tickets to the Bruins. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 or older. Giveaways may discontinue at any time. Drink and chill at the Sylvan Street Grill.
At Service Credit Union, trust isn't just a value, it's their promise. A promise to stand with those who serve our communities every day. I'm Charlie McAvoy, and I'm proud to partner with Service Credit Union to support the health, safety, and financial well-being of first responders. With competitive rates, easy online banking, and personal service, Service Credit Union puts people before profits. Service Credit Union. Success built on trust, banking built on service. Become a member today at servicecu.org/73 reasons and join thousands making a difference.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And we're celebrating this month like never before. It's our annual year-end celebration. And this year will be the best one yet. Incredible year-end deals on every Chevy, Nissan, Honda, Kia, and Volkswagen, and hundreds of certified used too.
We constantly check the competition to guarantee our best price possible every day on every new and used vehicle. But for our year-end celebration, we're taking this to another level, a whole new level.
Correct. Incredible savings on every Kia, Chevy, Honda, Nissan, and Volkswagens. It's our year-end celebration like never before.
Commonwealth Motors, located right off Route 495, exit 103A in Lawrence.
Find us fast at shopuslast.com.
Celebration. I love that word. And to all our wonderful customers, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, shop us last, you'll love us, and have a very happy and healthy New Year.
Celebration.
Gambling can be addictive, just like alcohol and other drugs. And like with other addictions, help for yourself or a loved one is out there. Call the Massachusetts Problem Gambling Helpline at 800-327-5050.
This hour on the Sports Hub brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people.
Everybody knows Joe.
Just keeps getting better.
Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You ever go to a show at Mansfield? What's your preferred venue for a show, Joe?
I prefer probably nice weather, and I'm outside.
Okay. So Mansfield would fit that
I like
bill.
Fenway, although some seats are rough at Fenway.
Okay.
Gillette's nice too. But bring me somewhere south.
Bring me somewhere south. Now, hold on a sec. So, you're from west of the city, right?
Yeah, I'm from Westboro.
Yeah. Okay. I think we had talked about that.
Yeah, well, I should have brought this up earlier. And after college, I moved to California.
You moved to California after college?
3 years after college, North Hollywood.
North Hollywood. What were you doing out there?
One of my college roommates was working on The Voice, and it was COVID, and I was just work from home. It's like, hey, I need a roommate. You want to come out? And I was like, heck yeah, let's do it.
Wow.
And I worked from, the time difference out there, so I worked from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then, after I went to the beach or just walked. But
nice.
I wasn't as productive as I thought I'd be out there. The time difference, I didn't add more time to my day. I just napped after work usually.
Yeah, no, that's tough. I can certainly understand that. As an early riser now, I never was one when I was younger, but now as a parent, it's like I get up early, I get things done before my kids are up, because otherwise, at the end of the workday, or once my kids are finally in bed, I'm just like I'm toast. I'm toast. I'm not going for walks. So you're out there for 3 years, though.
No, not 3 years. So I didn't make it that long.
Why did I get that wrong?
3 years after college.
3 years after
I went
college.
out
Got
there.
it.
Yeah, so I lived in Brighton after college, and then eventually I was just like, hey, I need a change.
That'll make anybody want to.
Yeah, hey, I need a change. But I mean, it was also COVID, so
sure.
Times grass is always greener, especially during that time. You're like, oh, this isn't it. I don't like this area.
Yeah. Some people really took advantage of just an opportunity to switch things up. Now, obviously for me, well, maybe not so obviously, but during COVID, my wife was pregnant, so I very much, hunkered down. And yeah, I don't know. Nobody around me was, sick or hurt by COVID, so I was generally, that went okay. It was kind of an interesting slice of life, but yeah. I like the paradise for a gig.
Where if you could live anywhere, where would you live? Or where's your favorite place you've been?
Wow. I've been to a lot of cities. I have been to a Major League Baseball game at the home park of every team.
Every single one?
Yep.
I know that a lot of people like to do and cross that off their bucket list, but it's pretty impressive you've already done it.
I finished that up in 2017 at a Twins game. It took me 15 years to do it. Just random trips. But, oh, man, I love the Pacific Northwest. Beautiful. And my favorite park is Pittsburgh, which, a younger me was like, could I live in Pittsburgh? Because it has the best baseball stadium. I mean, I love Fenway, of course, but no, Pittsburgh is my favorite. No, Pittsburgh has a lot of things going for it, I thought, but the Steelers fans too irritating. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a good place for a weekend trip. Joe, we could do another 4 hours at this rate.
I think we could, honestly. We could go to 2, 3 a.m.
Nobody's going for a walk or going to the beach after that.
I don't know how many listeners we get, but maybe my more family would call in. But
yeah, well, maybe. We'll see if they put us together again. Joe, it's been a pleasure. I'm Sean Sylver. You listeners have been great. Everybody, hey, go to bed, boo-boo. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Telford Tire Studios, WBZ-FM and HD1. It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Paisley Media Group station.
And Seattle University is leading at 7th-ranked Gonzaga, 37-29. Halftime in a top 20 matchup, Michigan State tied at Nebraska, 33-all. Stanford at home has taken the lead on number 16 Louisville, 64-62, just over 5 minutes to go. Number 2 Michigan still undefeated after ripping USC, 96-66. In the NBA, Cleveland got a home win, 112-108 over Denver. Donovan Mitchell, 33 points. Atlanta won at New York, 111-99. The Knicks' Jaylen Brunson, player of the month in the East, was 1 of 12 from three-point range as part of his 24 points. Mid-fourth quarter at Chicago, Bulls 105-102 over the Magic. Halftime at the Holiday Bowl on Fox TV, SMU 24-0 over Arizona. I'm Steve DeSager.
This is the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
See, I have this friend, Jason. Girls don't like him because he looks different.
It's Jason Smith.
Jason! Oh!
Jason. Mike Harmon.
I'm out of here. Got a collarless leather jacket to buy.
Oh! This is the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon. Now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, and sitting in for Jason Smith and Mike Harmon, here's Arnie Spanier and VJ Husky.
Yes, sir! And a happy new year to all of our lovely, beautiful, faithful listeners out there.